The Irish Hills as the Formula College World Championship takes to the high banks of Michigan International Speedway for tonight's running of the 250 in Brooklyn. The Driven by Excellence 250 presented by the University of Northwestern Ohio. We are live from the virtual Michigan International Speedway, and I will be giving you live flag-to-flag coverage here on the Collegiate iRacing League Season 13. Joining me in the booth tonight is previous FC driver Ben Fiore, and I'll be joined as well by Wesley Shaw. Wesley, what are you expecting us to see tonight?
Honestly, I'm expecting to see some great racing here tonight, Mr. Cade. It's always a pleasure to be up here with you. I'm happy that we have Mr. Ben Fiore, a former FC driver himself. As expected, tonight with the oval races, we're not going to have any push to pass, but we are going to have differences in fuel maps and a lot of tire wear tonight. These tracks, such as Michigan, Daytona, these very large open tracks where you're doing nothing but hammering down on that throttle all night long, you're going to be wearing tires, wearing fuel, and it's all going to come down to pit strategy, man.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough race, Wesley. Appreciate all the notes there. But I think for these drivers, it's going to be, I think, well, really coming off the last race, at least on the oval 2 weeks ago at Las Vegas, it was 1.5 miles. You had the Speedway era, but it was a whole different type of racing. Now we're up to Michigan, high banks, 2 miles, super speedway. Probably the closest thing we're going to get to Indianapolis in terms of an Indy oval race this season. So it's going to be a completely different style. You're going to see racing 2, 3, in some cases, which we saw the race last spring, which I was in, potentially even 4 or even more wide racing. So completely different pace. I think the drivers, if they haven't been doing a lot of Indy oval driving, they're going to be for a big shakeup. But I mean, if anything, we saw last spring with the race we saw last year with Wyatt Burton, Cale Davidson, and Aiken Lamar taking the win at the line by just how many thousandths of a second. I think you're due for one hell of a race tonight here, guys. I think it's going to be a good one.
And you mentioned a few of those players, guys that could be really good, guys who have won before on ovals here in the Formula College Championship. You're looking at guys like Aiken Lamar, Wyatt Burton, Cale Davidson's gotten it done before. So those are going to be some of the names that we're going to pay attention to. Qualifying is set to be starting here in about 3 minutes. So we've got just a little bit of time here. Ben, you have raced, actually, you mentioned it, you were in this race last season. You've raced on a speedway here in this IR18 INDYCAR. What do you think is the most challenging thing that you face when you come to such a high-speed track?
It's probably the biggest thing around here, and it's hard to say because when I drove this thing last time, and at least in the CIL portion, we had the different tire model and the different aerodynamics, which I know for a lot of drivers might have been Las Vegas the first time driving on that tire model, and the different aerodynamics that this car has now, this Dallara IR18 INDYCAR. But a lot of times beforehand, there was a lot of the dirty air. If you got right behind another car, there was a big punishment if you just want to keep the foot to the floor. These cars do have aero. They're not quite a big old blocky stock car. And if you do go right behind another race car, it's not going to really perform the same way as when you're doing a qualifying lap by yourself, just run the bottom at 220, potentially even 230 miles an hour around here. But with the new change of this tire model, at least with some of the officials that I've got the chance to do, it's really opened up a lot of the passing. More so in the sense there's a lot less dirty air. So I think the drivers do have to be can be a little bit less conscious of being directly behind somebody, which I think to what I was saying before and why I think there's going to be good racing tonight is the fact you can be directly behind somebody. Well, maybe not directly behind somebody. These cars aren't that great in those situations. But really, just with it less dirty air, you can be on the pedal. You can take 2-3 wide, knowing, hey, if I'm a car behind somebody, I can maybe swipe a little bit. I can maybe push that outside wall. 1 and 2 here at Michigan with the high bankings. It's a really good opportunity to pass. We've seen it in races, at least the race we did here before, being a real big challenging place to pass. I think with having less dirty air around here, it's probably the place where if you could really get a good run off 1 and 2, it sets you up really well. It's really the best place to pass on this racetrack. But I'd probably say the toughest part about it is just going to be probably just patience. 2 wide racing's possible here. 3 wide racing's possible here. But of course, with this IndyCar, you got net code. Whether we agree with it or not, it exists. And when you're going at these speeds that this IndyCar produces on the oval, you have to be very careful because one tap, you're not just taking one car. We've seen that last week of it, or 2 weeks ago now at Las Vegas. You have an incident, you're not taking one car. It could be 3, 4, it could be, for crying out loud, it could be the whole field. So drivers have to be patient. Drivers have to be conscious of where they are on the racetrack. It's faster driving. accidents happen fast, but you of course stay on top of it if you want a chance to stay alive on the racetrack, which inevitably is going to give you a good chance to win this race.
Absolutely, man. We kind of said something along the lines of you heard me say about that tire wear, and you kind of referencing that going to high and low. With these cars being such a high downforce car, and you're running what 220, 230 miles an hour
Every bit of
constantly.
that, yeah. And in the drafts, it could be even more than that. It's wicked speed.
I think we're absolutely going to be looking at a lot of tire changes. As we saw last week at Spa, we saw the primary and the alternates come in. How much do you think we're going to be looking at between differences on just this track alone in our 250 miles of racing?
Yeah, I think with that, I'd say, compared to road course, for those who are unaware how the Dallara IRA team works on iRacing, and really just the IndyCar in general, we don't have the different type of tire compounds. So it's just the one primary black sidewall tire. So there's not going to be a choice of maybe some shorter hours if you watched IndyCar, Milwaukee Mile being a place where they did some tire compound changes of different tires. There won't be a change of saying, hey, I have a faster tire, I could use that to gain advantage on the short run potentially. It's good, and also, I guess, also going back since the remodel where tires were probably a bit more of a factor, there really isn't much of a really huge degradation with that. But more so, I think dirty air is going to be more of the issue. But more to your point, though, Wesley, I think more so with tires, it's just putting your car in clean air. You might have less dirty air than you did before, but if the tires can't get to a place where they can grip the road, if they're not in a place where they're, of course, especially with cooler tires in the opening parts of the race, that's going to play a huge factor. For anyone driven the Indy Next car or the IndyCar, those opening up couple laps of the race, it's really difficult to really push. And I think also on restarts, and I think a place where I've struggled in the past when I've driven this car is restarts. Yeah, especially if we have a lot of cautions early in the race, your tires are still going to be really, really, really cold. And if I'm trying to go hammer the throttle, and I'm trying to go on this banking, this 30-plus degree banking here, or something like that we have here at Michigan International Speedway, if you're going on that banking and you're trying to push too hard, it's what 700, 800 horsepower this turbocharged Honda or Chevy V6. So if you're trying to push too hard, this car will step out on you, and that could be very costly in this race. You do have a faster pair naturally. Here in the CIL, these oval races, but not something you want to use. You definitely want to use it on the restart because you're trying to be a little too greedy. We have a long race ahead of you, which these drivers will have over these 250 miles here from Michigan.
Yeah, 250 miles needs 125 laps, so plenty of opportunities for guys to restart, plenty of opportunity to gain some track position, maybe lose it, maybe gain it back. Something we do want to mention that we have seen with the fast repair in the past, even though you have it, even though it can fix your damage, you still have to wait for iRacing to tow your car to pit road if it gets stuck on track. So even though you have the opportunity to fix the damage, we've often seen drivers lose a lap or more just by having to wait for their car to get to pit road and take that fast repair. And then they've got to find a way to dig themselves out of that hole. Now tonight we do have the lucky dog and the wave around rules. So Wesley, if you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So our lucky dog operates the same as NASCAR. If we are under pace car and we are going around the track, our pits and everything, you have the first car that is a lap down, the first car behind that gets what's called the lucky dog, where you get to wave around. You get your lap back, so you get a free chance at getting back into the race, getting back into the fight, and getting your one little shot to try and reach for that win, which can be all the difference between a lap down, getting a 22nd, 23rd, heck, even a 36th spot being the last spot in our race, or coming to a win with that lucky spot.
Yeah, it's a big thing to point up there, Wesley, with the lucky dog. It's not something that we see often in the IndyCar. It's not something that's used in the official series, but something that we have here in the Collegiate iRacing League. And personally, since this rule change, I would say if I'm a driver going out here, knowing that you have a lucky dog and you have a fast repair, that might encourage some aggressive driving really early on. With these bars, but we'll definitely have to see how this plays out in the next 250 miles here from Michigan.
Man,
we're now going to take a look at a qualifying lap. Go ahead.
It's going to make these drivers want to leave everything on the track and bring nothing but that steering wheel back into the pit lane.
Yeah, but honestly, I say do it early because, well, you might want to say, oh, and lap, what is it, 120 laps, Cage, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. If we have that many laps in the race, 135, really, that's a lot of laps. As we are along now with Wyatt Burton, number 26 Prime University car. He takes his outlap ready to get started here in qualifying. But to talk about more, you might want to take that risk early because if you take that fast repair later in the race, sure, your car is going to run, but you may only have 10, 15 laps. You may not have time to get back to the front. So that may be something the drivers want to think about. Do I want to risk causing a big one and taking out half the field, or do you want to play it safe? Do you just want to hold on to that repair? That'll be something that drivers will have to hold on to as Wyatt Burton comes out of turn 2 to the back straightaway to start, I believe, his first qualifying lap of the 3 that these drivers have available throughout the 10-minute session. So you can come out of 4. Not pretty sure what the speedometer is. I think I got a chance to run the qualifying with the setup for running tonight, but it's got to be something well in the north. We'll see him come down the apron, coming out of 4 to finish his lap. Of course, doing well in excess of about 220 per hour, probably about 220, 225 miles an hour through the high banks. But if I'm not mistaken, unfortunately, I didn't pull my protractor before this race. I think we're dealing with somewhere north of quite a bit of banking. Actually, it's at 30 degrees. We're up to around 18 degrees of banking at the most steep parts here at Michigan International. But Wesley, I'm sure you're a little bit more versed here with the stuff in Michigan, as I'm starting to get the math wrong. So if you want to take us through a bit of that.
Absolutely. I've been kind of doing my research the last couple of days. I personally ran some times as well to just get a feel of what's going on here today. As you can see on the bottom of your screen of this graph, you kind of see the banking going from 5 degrees all the way up to 18. Now, this track is one of the highest banking tracks on the calendar. Being at 18 degrees, you were 18 degrees off of being level. It is 18 degrees that you're tilted on your side to turn as much more as you can. And going along with that, it's been 18 degrees since October of 1968. You kind of see there as well, where it opened with its iconic D shape. It was one of the first tracks to ever come out with this D shape. Being 2 miles long, you're top of fourth, fifth gear. I think, yeah, to go along with your speed as well, we were kind of seeing 220, 225 miles an hour. That's insanely fast. Compared to the stock cars that me and Cade usually race on Monday nights, we're going about 180, 190. So you're going that much faster in a car that is that much lower, that much smaller, and that much lighter. It's insane. But to go off of that IndyCar speed, I think if we look back at some past races like we were talking earlier, I think the fastest qualifying time ever at this track in the IndyCar series is held by Mr. Paul Tracy at a speed of 234.949 miles an hour. It's insanely fast for a quality lap.
It's insane fast, but it's really tells you, especially like go back to those Paul Tracy times, and we think back to how fast these cars are now and how they are in the sim. But if we somehow, if in iRacing, I'm not trying to make a plug or anything, but if you want to bring the 90s car Indy cars into the sim, like the Lotus 79 F1, that'd be awesome. But for those cars, as we'll see some cars come out the pits. But on the subject while we're going through, I believe the 5-minute warm-up has qualifying has come to an end here. Yes. Awesome. I've been confirmed from our producers. Thank you very much, Ryan. But to talk about it, if we could bring that back, 240 miles an hour, I mean, it would be great. But I don't know if the physics of the sim could possibly keep up with it. We have to think about iRacing being an old sim. It's been around from when what did they come out in 2008? I'm not sure. I was even in grade
school. It was 2008.
At that point. Holy crap! I'm getting old. Unk status. Welcome to the Unction, ladies and gentlemen.
It's crazy to think that I'm 3 years older than this sim.
Oh my goodness, dude. Holy crap. It's putting me in perspective. Jeez, I could better as well get my freaking wheelchair out tonight. Holy smokes. But listen, 240 miles an hour. These cars are fast. They're much faster, like you were saying, Wesley. These things are a lot faster than a stock car. But as we were saying before, the price to pay with the speeds and then that code are very big. You might have a fast repair. You might be able to go crawl back to the pits, but not something you want to do. Ideally, these drivers want to stay on the racetracks, racing for points, racing for the win, and giving them their best chance at the victory tonight. Because these oval races, road courses, for my time in CIL, they've been dominated by quite a few selection of very skilled drivers. But these oval races, they are chaotic. They're all over the place. And if you're going to see a surprise win like we've seen many times before in these races, tonight would probably be your night to see it. So while we'll get to predictions later, but I'm sure as we'll come to predictions later on tonight's, there's going to be, I think there's going to be quite a few choices. And if you predict, it's probably going to be wrong because there's just so many ways this race could play out over the race distance.
No, going off of last week, I think predictions have been pretty good.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the starting grid though before we make our predictions. Give us a little bit of a baseline, something to go off of here. Starting on the pole for tonight's race is our Muhammad Alif. We're used to seeing this man dominate, turning left and right, but today he didn't even need the right turns to do it with a 32.431. Into his outside, it's his teammate Lucas Moody. Starting just behind them, back in row number 2, it's Jake Cummings from Converse University. He'll start next to another Ball State car. That is Nick Henley, 64. Starting back in the 5th spot, it's Jake Dick, another driver from BSU, and just outside the top 5 last year's Rookie of the Year, Keegan Kallick from St. Clair College. Back in row number 4, it is Edwin Onofre of UNT and Adrian Tubakovic from St. Clair College. And rounding out the top 10, back in the 9th spot, is going to be Dylan Beatty, another driver from BSU, and our most recent oval track winner, Ricky Paz.
As we roll outside the top 10 to take you into 11th and 12th. Riley Birkins for New England will run up to the inside in 11th, and to his outside, the second place finisher in this last spring's race, Wyatt Burton for Triumph, will start off in 12th. Going back to row number 7, it's Grant Schiller in the 5 car for St. Clair in 13th, and to his outside, Cale Davidson from Ball State running in the 14th spot, the number 2 Ball State machine. Next row back, we see Logan McKim in the number 3 St. Clair car from 15th. In 16th, we see an alumni driver from Clemson from the driving of Adam Willoughby. Roll back. Yep, rolling next row back into row 9. It's Sean Campbell, the number 70. That's not Sean Campbell. That is actually Brendan Lyman from Oklahoma Panhandle State. And to his outside, we have Aaron Gosler from Kansas State rolling off in 18th. And row 10, it will be Stell Beasley from University of Delaware, the number 70 machine, with Josh Camphor from Kansas State in the 172 in 20th.
And rolling off on the back of our grid on the 21st start is going to be Mr. Nick Stockner, an alumni from Clemson, running that 124 machine. A lot of expectations from him tonight.
Yeah, Stockner's a guy who usually comes in, wants to run really, really well on these ovals. He's had a couple of good runs in his career, but tonight he's going to be doing it from the back. So we're going to see if he can set I believe he set a time in warm-up that got him within our 105% rules. So Nick Stockner rolling off 21st, but now is our opportunity. I'm glad that we have plenty of drivers who could go out and win this thing because we got plenty of us up here in the booth. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Wesley. Who do you think is going to pull it off tonight here in Michigan?
And going off a Spa, I'm going to have to hit back-to-back with the Leaf. I called it last race. He came home with the win with, a 4 or 5 second lead, the second place. He did it last week. I'm hoping he does it again, and I'm trying to keep my vote spot on. Besides him, it's got to be Nick Stockner. How about you, Mr. Ben Fiore?
I mean, there's, again, like I've been saying chaos is the name of the game out here on these ovals. But if I had to pick a chaotic winner tonight, it was one I was watching with a keen eye at the Oval Opener at Las Vegas. I have to say, can we give it up to the unction? Can we give it up for Mr. Edwin Onofre from North Texas? We've seen him drive up in the series. I believe his first time doing Formula College over here, at least in the CIL side of things, over these last couple of rounds. And I've been thoroughly impressed. Both the road pace has been there. I've driven him in sports cars. He's shown me a thing or two at turning left and right, as he's done it before in the Collegiate Sports Car Challenge, Sports Car Championship now. As we start the formation lap, start getting these drivers underway. But I have to say, listen, that 199 car gets to the front and can survive and avoid some chaos. I think it's got a good shot to find itself in victory lane when it's all said and done.
Edwin Onofre has been solid all season across the entire CIL, on the Cup side and the sports car side. Me, I'm going to have to go with Wyatt Burton. He's been really, really good all season. Has had a lot of bad luck, though. I think today's the day he can finally turn it around, get back to his winning ways on the ovals. If he can get it done today, he will be the winningest FC driver on an oval track. The safety truck has turned in. Our Muhammad Alif, Lucas Moody, going to lead us through the restart zone, and we are racing here in Brooklyn.
We'll see the drivers get away at speed for the first time under green light conditions. They're already, as we were saying, 3, possibly 4 wide on back from about 3 rows deep, but still Armor Muhammad Alif with a whole lot of company behind him, buzzing at speed for the first time here. As we get things underway, Jake Cummings looking to make action. Lucas Moody already up to second. They're 3 wide there, are not messing any time around. This is already what we were talking about. Exciting, and it's already pedal to the metal here from Michigan. Oh my goodness, the car got loose in the bottom. Not sure quite who that was, but they were already fanning out down to the bottom of the apron there. That was awfully sketchy. Oh my goodness.
You kind of see we're 4 wide on that third row, and we're
there's a big wreck. There it is. Get out the tarps. It has come out early enough. There's a car. Oh my goodness. I think it might be playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That is a massive flip, massive wreck. Cars on the inside wall. Oh my goodness. Massive crack already on lap number 2. We'll take a look now.
That was Riley Birkins, was the car that was gone flipping down the back straightaway. The New England College driver doing a little bit of an amusement park ride here on the second lap. Riding along with Edwin and Ofra. I think he's going to get a pretty good look at this.
Oh,
Yeah, Birkins
projection,
comes down into
no!
Henley off the outside.
Can you get these
And
turned
all
around?
of those cars destroyed.
Oh my goodness, that was a massive flip there. As we're looking now on joining on board with Riley Birkins. Now with three wheels now attached instead of 4. It's not quite ideal. As we now take another look as we come from the TV cam coming through turn 1. We were talking about 3 wide being the big thing here. Riley Birkins run up on the high side, got a whole lot of bit of a Ball State carbon in front of him, trying to make a look into that middle, crossing 3 or 4 wide. Was it netcode contact? It looks like the 64 might have potentially came down ever so slightly. Might have been also on Riley Birkins coming high, but again, as we were talking about before the race, all this speed, you got to be very, very, very careful with where cars are at. That is, try to hold myself. Like,
I might have to bust out a Beyblade because he's giving me a run for my money.
I was gonna say, I was trying to hold my thoughts together. That car went for a ride. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes! I was gonna say, AMR safety team, we may have to call you on the express those tonight because that's quite a wreck if I ever seen one. I will say though, and I will say, thank the good Lord this is a sim, because that might have been a series ender if that were real life. Thank goodness we're in a sim, I will say.
Absolutely, that would have been a red flag all day long the second that happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
3 ambulances out there.
I want to say I've had shades of Las Vegas 2011 in terms of big time wrecks and possible injuries and whatnot, but I'm sure if you're doing that many G's, turning over like a Beyblade, that's going to do quite a bit of damage. As a producer will say, as he is probably deceased from that, and I don't want to necessarily wish the worst on anybody. I had to say there might be a good chance. He does have fast repair. He might, but listen.
Let's get that fast repair.
Yeah,
I think we're very lucky that he gets that fast repair.
Yeah, the question is though. Listen, we all know we understand that the car's okay, but is the driver okay? Like, can they even get the bandages out? Can they do the concussion protocol and everything else before it gets back out there? Like, we have to worry about the drivers and safety. We're in the sim, but still, virtual driver safety needs to take paramount presence in this situation here.
So I think the most thing you're gonna have to really take care of is your wrists. I know the second that car goes wild, that car goes up, that wheel starts spinning, and if he has a direct drive wheel, that is a lot of newton meters of torque just coming down on your hands. So the first instinct you want to do is just let go. You don't want any part of that. I've personally sprained a thumb. I've actually dislocated my wrist from one of those wheels happening like that, where you get turned, your car goes up, and all of a sudden you're spinning through the air and your wheel goes wild, left to right at the top of its game. And your first instinct needs to be let go of the wheel, let it do its thing. When it stops is when you can finally take control of it.
Yeah, I gotta say there, Wesley. I do actually also own a direct drive wheelbase of my own, and I gotta say, when you're in one of these wrecks, one thing we should point out about the sim, which I don't think a lot of people are probably aware of, is that iRacing does do do some software magic on its end to lower the force feedback forces when you're in a crash. So it's not like if you are running, say, 100% force feedback and you have like 9, 10, 12, 20 newton meters, you're not going to feel that in the wreck, which is very nice, because that may hurt more than the wrist potentially, depending on how you have your wheel and your sim rig set up, where it be either in your college dorm, whether it be in your team's esports center or whatever. So it's nice the drivers have a little cushion, a little bit of a little safe bubble there with how iRacing handles the damage, and at least on the wheel side. But yeah, still, like we said, you don't want to be involved in the wreck. It's still going to be, if it doesn't hurt you physically, it's certainly going to hurt you emotionally, because you come to the race, like we saw with Edwin No Frame with Riley Birkins qualifying up the front. Your thought is, all right, we're in a good position. You want to be at the front, because in these mid-pack of these races, being 2-3 wide, it's chaotic. You don't know if you're going to live. You don't know if this next lap will be your last of the night, whether it be netcode or something else getting in your way. And before it flashed before your eyes, misjudgments, and one car wreck turns into 3 wrecks, turns into 5 wrecks, and already quite a few drivers' races have been compromised. But fast repair is still in hand for a lot of these drivers, so I'm sure they've taken it. Hopefully they've been able to stay on the lead lap, as we'll confirm it with the timing tower. But we'll see how this plays out for these drivers we see right on board. Under the Collegiate lap with Mr. Cale Davidson at number 9, Ball State Machine. Saw him qualify a little bit further back than I think he was liking, but I'm sure with some of the wrecks he's been able to gain a net positive. And basically with this race now basically being a little shortened here, tires being back cold, he'll be looking to get a good restart here and make the best of the restart here as we come to start on lap 6 of 125.
Yeah, all 3 cars involved in that wreck were able to take fast repairs, but did lose a lap. And to add insult to injury, Birkins was given an end-of-line penalty for his role at the beginning of that wreck. But we're about to go green here, 120 to go in Michigan, and we're going to ride along board with Cale Davidson to see just how chaotic these can be, even under single file conditions.
See him already looking to the inside. You look for a move. That was already been a yellow. We're going to go ahead and roll that back. As we're going to see who that driver was. We've already seen our second caution already here on lap number 6. That is a car with a broken steering wheel. Looks to be a potentially ball safe car. Looks to be Edwin Nofre. I believe that is the 20 of Dylan Beatty. That was the car as we ride on board now with him. At least if Karen was focused on him. There's a checkup right there. Looks to be, I believe, either Alan Willoughby checking up on the restarts, and that's already for a chain reflection. That's going to put the 20 of 199 with some significant damage.
Man, you know that 199 is absolutely upset. He just got out of the pits with that fast repair after that last wreck.
Yep.
I know for a fact he is now mentally
Yeah, potentially also the 78. Brendan Lyman may have had to do something with that in that reaction there, but regardless, that 189 being one of the cars that probably is going to be out of this race. Because again, like you said, Wesley, user fast repair. You get one. You could ask very nicely from the race control we have tonight, but I'm sure they're not going to grant it. So, 199 is going to be back to the garage, and it will be race over, which is very sad. Because if I was gambling tonight, I might be losing a bit on that 199. But
yeah, I will have to say, the bet is still on the table. Our Muhammad Alif is still leader. I'm still projected. So
he's still getting laps.
I'm keep my bets going.
Listen, Wesley, he's getting plenty of his time to lead laps tonight. I'm sure also with all the bonus points that are available. These are just login laps in terms of trying to lead the most laps in the race. This is going to go a long way to helping that total. Again, bonus points, which are, of course, critical to the championship. We talk about how good Alif is, again, like you said, Wesley, early in predictions of how good he is on the road courses. I've seen him do quite a few things on the road courses, including but not limited to, be absolutely much faster than me. So we know how dominant he is over on the left and right-hand turn side of things. But right now, one thing we have to talk about, our Muhammad Alif, he's won everywhere on road courses. He is yet to win an oval race, at least FC-wise. He's won quite a few times in the College Cup Series, the M2 College Cup Series, Darlington being a place he's won multiple times. But he's come close before. He's put on pole last spring in the CIL Indy 500. He's been no stranger to qualifying at the front, but finishing at the front has been a troubling point for that number 12 Ball State machine. A 4-time defending champion in this series, trying to make it 5 in a row. Should he hold on to try to actually get back into the championship lead, because Ricky Paz actually is leading the championship as we stand. I'm a week off. Forgive me, I'm saying. But either way, though, this 12 car wants to be at the front. They want to get the demons off their back, and at least while we're running under caution, he's going to do quite a number to get back to making that feat happen.
And to kind of run off of that, we've kind of seen Muhammad Alif, you said he's won everywhere. He has won a bunch of oval races in the Cup. He's won a bunch of road races here in the Formula column. But the huge question here is, to go along with that, is endurance. Will he be able to make it last on just turning left?
Yeah, that's the thing we're going to see. One thing we also do have to mention in terms of the strategy. Strategy is being a big thing we're doing right now under caution. It's going to allow the drivers to go ahead to potentially extend their fuel stops. Kia, I'm not sure if you have the notes on you in terms of the pit strategy in terms of how many laps we get out of a tank with these Dallara IR18 chassis during green flag running. I'm not sure we have that number available, but regardless, when we have these yellows, we're extending the fuel run. Thank you, producer, giving us the number. Estimated fuel stop, I think it was probably a bit more than 11 to 13 laps for running on an oval. I was gonna say I imagine 30 laps being on Spa, but
we do have the
extension.
We do have the number for
tonight.
It's going to be about 40 laps or so.
40 laps, okay.
But you can definitely save quite a bit under fuel. We do have these fuel maps, 38 laps, top end of a green flag run, but you're already looking at about 6 laps behind that safety truck thus far in the race. So you're going to be able to save a little bit. Maybe, I don't know if you'd be able to cut a pit stop out, but if you can get to just past lap 40, you can get to just past lap 80, and you can get all the way to the end. So with all these early yellows, guys may be looking to turn this into a 2-stop race.
Very interesting stuff there.
And kind of run off of
I apologize.
I'm sorry, running yourself. But to run off of that incident that just happened over the caution, it looks like it was deemed to be a racing incident. I don't know if it was up to one car exact, but it was one giant checkup in this single start restart.
Yes, we do. We're about to go racing once again here. This taking a look at Brennan. No, sorry, that is Lucas Moody there in the second spot, just behind our Muhammad Ali. Jake Cummings still P3. Guy I'm looking at, Ricky Paz, has been able to move up to 6th with a great move there on the initial restart. But we're going to try it again, once again, through the restart zone. And once again, Ball State will lead us to the green here on lap number 10.
Cars already going already a lot of gaps. The single file restart is different from if you're watching NASCAR races. In terms of that, in terms of style racing, we already see the cars to single file. But here's the thing, Armor High Leaf, it was easier to hold the lead with these single file, but it's going to be harder to do when you have cars drafted on you already. We already see Lucas Bowie peeling to the outside to make it too wide, coming down into number 3. He comes as well now, possibly looking at the 3 wide also as well, but Armor High Leaf will stay on that bottom, on that preferred groove. But again, with that draft, it's going to give a bunch of drivers to go already peel up. We already see Keegan Calic in the 29 St. Clair car already looking down to the bottom, trying to pick what lane he possibly could have. Already 2 by 2 by looks to be about 3 rows deep, as we will look to be also possibly 2 wide. Will we get to 3 wide out of turn number 2? We will see as we ride on board with our previous oval winner Ricky Paz, looking all the way on the top of the high side. It might be 2 wide, it might be 3 wide, but they are rolling it clean at over 220 miles an hour on the high side and holding it like it's absolutely none. These Indy cars are absolutely something here, guys.
Yeah, Ricky Paz got a huge run there, catching that pack about a lap after the restart. Was only able to get 1 position out of it, had to roll out of the gas just a little bit to avoid contact. Now he is tucked in behind Keegan Calic. Jake Cummings been shuffled out just a little bit. So now Calic looking at the side-by-side battle for the lead. I have to imagine there might be a little bit of a plan here with Moody and Alif running side-by-side, both of those Ball State cars. And now the wreck has happened. This is one deeper in the field. Looks like it
Josh
has
Camper looks to be involved.
Yeah, the Kansas State driver. A lot of damage to that car. So 3rd yellow of the day comes out here on lap 12.
Already a race of attrition here, Cade. Already see 3 cautions. I was going to say, if there were any bets for overs and unders in this race in terms of cautions, as we watch Josh Camper just get absolutely loose off of turn number 2. We talked about cold tires being a problem on these restarts, and especially off 1 and 2. If you're not careful, you're doing a little too much with the steering angle. These cars with 750 horsepower, they will get tail happy, and we saw it there with Camper, the Kansas State machine. That car is going to be damaged. It is going to be a pass go into the pits, use your fast repair, and try to get that thing loaded up back up. And hopefully, because he's able to still rolling, he should be able to get it done quickly and not lose a lap on the field. So you'll check on board.
Kind of run off of that 1 fast repair. It looks like we have about 6 or 7 drivers now that have used up their fast repair. One of them already being out of the race, Mr. Edwin Onofre, my fellow Texas resident. It just seems to be a lot of wrecks happening here at Michigan to end off the night, as we kind of see Edwin Onofre looks to be about a lap down, as I get word from my producer over here, kind of sitting behind that Ball State car. Fast repair, it is a very tempting thing to use early on in the race, but it is also a huge upsetter to the fact at you having to run into the pits even to use it. These cars are very touchy. They're very touchy. As I say that twice, stepping over myself, to run off of what he was saying earlier, Mr. Ben Fiore, these cars do love their draft. As we were kind of running that 3 wide, you kind of see that high line kind of stall out for that wreck happening.
Yeah, to that point. Yeah, I was gonna say, especially I was talking about where with the ability you can go with the aerodynamics and the tire upgrades that we've seen to this car in the latest build of iRacing. 2-3 wide is not something as sketchy as we probably had not too long ago. As we will see a lucky dog, I believe I'm trying to zoom in. That's Nick Henley, the 64 Ball State machine, showing off the rule change for this FC season. He will go ahead and get his at least one of his lap backs. Holy crap, we are absolutely muttering it here in the commentaries. We'll actually get a nice look along with the 64 inside the cockpit virtually. It's not in the actual race car, unfortunately, but he is very happy about that lucky dog. He is absolutely ecstatic over the thing. But to your point, Wesley, though, to that point, 2-3 wide is possible with the car, especially being a lot easier on this tire remodel or this aero refix of the race car. But the question is, when do you want to use it? If you get a run off 4, you might have 2-3 wide, but if you also see a strategic block from the likes of a Leaf or Moody or cars running up the front of the field, you're going to stall out. And then the question is, do I want to go to bomb? Do I want to challenge? Do I want to possibly see what the drivers might do and potentially make a risky move? Or do I want to sit back? But if you sit back, there's cars behind you which are going to be coming at you at full pace, and they're not going to be worrying about. Dude, we're racing here. We're not playing iPace, and this is iRacing, so you want to make a move. So drivers going to have a lot of things to think about through over the course of this race. When do I want to make a move? When do I want to make a move at all? Because again, if you want to make moves, you're going to probably have to make changes on your race car. You're going to have to change your anti-roll bars. You're going to have to change your weight jacker. You're going to have to change your fuel maps, change your fuel mileage, as we were talking about earlier. Fuel mileage being a huge thing in these large plate tracks. So drivers will have their hands full over here in this race as we are coming up on, believe, lap number 15, lap number 16. We're already talking the laps, not even quite 10 laps or 10% through on the lap counter. Or actually just passed it because 12. Got to do some math here. Sorry, I'm used to racing, not doing math. But already laps ticking by. And again, like we said, Alif already doing quite a job to take the laps off to get his points early on in this run-in.
Absolutely. Kind of run off of what you were saying just now about making that pass, about when and if you can make that pass. We kind of saw Ricky Paz make an absolute run as a rocket ship from over 3 to 4 car lengths back, get up to dead even with Mr. Muhammad Alif and Lucas Moody. But once you get out of that draft, once you're up to pace with them, it's up to whether you want to spend all of your fuel on that main fuel map and try and edge just ahead on your race line, or if you just want to fall back down and get what you can. As we're going to kind of hop over here and our Muhammad Alif on his gearbox looking behind at Mr. Lucas Moody as I hand it over to Mr. Cade.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here off the gearbox of our Muhammad Alif, see if he can't get a pretty good jump here. Something that's been really interesting. Saw it last year at Michigan, and we saw it again there that last restart. The field can get strung out for about 1 lap, but then they all come back together, and that's when the moves decide. Great jump from Alif. He's going to put a couple of car lengths on his teammate Moody. Once again, we're racing, and we'll see how much they group back up here. Probably going to happen at the end of the back straightaway. Ricky Paz going to get the momentum. He's going to jump to the inside. Jake Cummings, the car to watch on the top. He's going to get a really big run here right behind Lucas Moody. He swings it to the outside, yeah.
3 wide. We looking possibly 4 wide. We're getting tasty here. We already had 3 cautions, but these drivers, again, they are not wasting any time trying to put the number 12 Ball State car under quite a bit of pressure. We'll see Ricky Paz get a run off the bottom, off 2. Will he go anywhere? He's going to check up. That's going to check up that whole bottom line, but we'll see if that 13 car could possibly get a run on that outside lane. He's trying to side draft, but so far, without any really drafting help, it's really hard to make something happen as we'll come off forward. But the Leaf still holding this thing over in the top spots. Lucas Moody might still look under Ricky Paz. He might be able to get to that second spot, but will he be getting out of 2? We will see in due time. Keegan Kallick possibly looks to 3 wide. I don't know, Kate. This is getting tough. Listen, I'm getting nervous. I'm freaking deja vu from running this race. This is already giving me a number of emotions. This is some tight racing here.
Yeah, the top 10 have kind of broken away in that pack. Kallick had a look to the outside, but the car just didn't quite seem stable enough to hold it up there. Now it's going to be the turn of Aaron Gosler. He's going to hop to the outside in that 30 car. There he is, had a little bit of taste. Maybe just getting some clean air on that nose, that aero wash that you talked about earlier coming into play, getting in the middle of the corner. It might be a little bit safer to go 3 wide. He's going to do it again. He's got Cale Davidson right up his gearbox. I don't think any momentum for Gosler down the back straightaway, but he survives the corner. And now clear high, Keegan Kallick, 3 wide for the lead down the back straightaway.
Yep, already 2 rows back. We see that number 39 car also possibly. We might not be 1 row 3 wide. We might be possibly 2 rows 3 wide. As we are looking through the action, it is getting really tight. Still, Armand Leaf will lead this thing. Lucas Moody doing his best to keep the bottom line at bay, but they are possibly getting 2 wide, possibly 3 wide. Aaron Gosler, we talked about him before, 3 wide now, 3 rows deep, running all the way on the top side as they come through 1 and 2.
3 wide up the middle for Adam Willoughby, able to make the pass. If he can clear low into the corner, he's going to take it, and yes, he does. Tucks in line, 4th car on the bottom. We saw it at Vegas, and we're seeing it again. The bottom is the place to be, but you can stick up top and get some momentum, just like Cale Davidson's going to do. Davidson is going to had the chance to clear the 022, but didn't want to. He decided to take it right up to the boards and rip that wall.
I think we'll see you go run to the high side. Will he be able to, that top side is a really good advantage place to get a really good run down the back straightaway. We'll see him get all the way to the outside of 2 wide, possibly 3 wide for that number 2 ball state car, as cars will now gather on the outside. The question is, we already see 2 wide, that far outside lane starting to form a little bit of momentum. As we'll see, well, I say that, commentator's curse already maybe play a little bit, as we'll come back to 2 wide with that number 2 car. But the question is, you want to be 2 wide. Is 3 wide going to be possible to do in this race? I don't know. The early answer to that is no, but Cale Davidson is not afraid to go ahead and try to make that happen, as we'll see caution just come out here on lap number 23. We'll have to see what that is. But man, that front pack racing, it is being really intense so far. I'm loving this.
And it looked like it was Nick Stockner that was involved in the wreck. Oh, that car. That is Stell Beasley, the driver from Delaware, the red and white machine. He's at the inside of Stockner.
Oh, good lord.
Up the track, and huge contact there.
That's a big old smash. That is a proper hit. I don't know if the spotter might have went ahead and taken a look at his watch or his Apple Watch or something like that. But you see the next Stockner, he's just nowhere to go. And the only place he could go is where the car is put him, which is right with his right side tires up on the outside of the outside retaining wall. But that is a proper big time hit. Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that spotter just kind of took a little vacation there, kind of took away from the binoculars just to look away and just sent it up high.
Yeah.
That is a nasty hit there.
Yeah, he just comes. He is not fully clear, and that's just going to put a number of cars. Brendan Lyman shooting to the inside wall, and that will probably be a faster pair that has to be used. Well, probably very fast pair used for that 78 from the earlier caution. So that will be a lengthy sit in pit road if that car is even drivable without a meatball.
Has to drive down to pit road if it is.
Yeah, long drive for him. Painful too. Got to go the whole way around.
Absolutely. He's probably going to be running off of 1 tire in the front and maybe 1 tire in the rear. There's going to be a lot of work to be used on that car, and if he does have that fast repair, it'll save him, but if there's no fast repair, it's not done.
Yeah. For sure.
I do think that 78 car does have the fast repair left, so he may have the opportunity to use it, get back in this race. And there were a couple of guys thinking about coming in right there, but they're going to stay out. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. Could be a 2-stop race from here on out if you can run that map 8 and save some gas. I will say this. This restart could have a little bit of a different look. A couple of different guys toward the front of the field. Ricky Paz up to the 3rd spot. I believe that's Keegan Kellick in 4th. So those guys are going to have an opportunity to maybe make a move for the lead. But, Ben, what I'm seeing so far is if you want to make a pass, you have got to do it very early in the run. It seems like once they get double wide out, neither lane can really get an advantage.
Yeah, but the question is, though, is that because of strategy or because, again, fuel mileage? We talk about you want to make 40 laps, you want to make a 2-stop race. With these Indy cars, there's one thing you don't want to do. Obviously, apart from Breck, which we had quite a few of those tonight. But the big thing is you do not want green flag pit stops. You pit under that, pit under one of the under green flag runs. If we go a long run of possibly 30, 40, 50 laps. If we get to those points where you have to pit and you decide to maybe not pit on these early cautions, you might be losing the lap. But the only fact we do have getting lucky dog for 1 driver at a time when there is cautions, that's going to be detrimental to your race and if you want to be competitive in this race.
That's right. We just want to remind you guys, tonight's race is sponsored by the University of Northwestern Ohio. It's the Driven by Excellence 250 presented by UNO. We do want to thank these guys for coming on board. They sponsor our sports car series, our replays, and tonight's race. So just want to let you guys know that if you want to go to turn your passion into your career, the University of Northwestern Ohio is a pioneer in the field of high-performance motorsports education. UNO designed and implemented the first high-performance motorsports program in the world, and it's the only university that owns and operates its own racetrack facility. After more than 100 years of education, UNO has more than 40 degree programs to choose from and over 3,000 students from 81 different countries. Are you ready to take the next step with a degree from UNO? We'd also like to thank the Longland Corporation Napa. They'll be sponsoring our last lap, and they've sponsored a few races throughout the schedule. We heard about them through driver Brennan Lyman, who unfortunately may need some Napa know-how to get that 78 OPSU car machined. With the Longland Corporation, go to napaonline.com. There's store number 28128. So shout out to all of them. And if you are interested in sponsoring a race, a series, or something else in the Collegiate iRacing League, please we would much appreciate your patronage. So check out our links in the description of this YouTube video and get on over to the CIL Discord to see how it works behind the scenes and get your name on the Collegiate iRacing League.
Yep, as we are starting to get, I believe lights are off in the pace car. We will be green flag this time by, we're in from race control. The 199 Edwin Onofre was the car to last get the lucky dog, so he is back on the lead lap from the 18th position. I believe of the 21 cars we have in the field tonight, I believe we are running 20 running, and it's 18 on the lead lap. So we may be down a sole or two on the lead lap, but still plenty of cars in play as we come ready to restart this thing here on lap 26 of 125.
Yeah, once again, about to take the green flag. It's still our Muhammad Alif. He's led every lap today, but he's going to have to hold the lead once again. Great restarts out of Moody and Paz. They get a little bit of a gap on the field as they roar down.
Oh, we got to check him in the back. Check him in the back. There might be a caution coming out. I was watching along from another camera. We may have a potential. Check him in the restart. Race control going to roll this thing running with green flag running. Maybe some cars damaged out back, but our Muhammad Alif, that 12 car, is going to take him out of 1 and 2 with 2 cars looking on back. Fuzzy challenge.
Now the caution is out. It is Stel Beasley once again. I believe contact between he and Josh Camphor from KSU. Oh, we're going to see Camphor lose it off of the corner.
Oh, they've done it again.
And that wreck looked nearly identical. Yeah, Ben.
That's weird. I was going to say, I mean, I bring that up too, because that's a weird incident to have. I mean, you have it once. That's one thing, but shouldn't, I mean, sure, maybe some cold tires if it's a pit stop, but maybe I mean, there is potential, you know, with iRacing with these fast repairs that maybe there's a part of damage that doesn't get repaired. So I'm wondering if that Camphor 172 Kansas State machine maybe didn't have a full thing repaired under the fast repair. Some weird glitch happens, and maybe expected the car more grip. But as we see here with the car turning to the inside of coming out of 2, it did not, and that is going to be some damage in that car and probably race over potentially for that machine.
Yeah, if Camphor does not have a fast repair left, that would drop him out of the race and make him one of just 2 cars not running. Dylan Beatty from BSU also already out. Unfortunately, he will end the day in the last position, of course, pending a DQ coming later in the race. But Josh Camphor potentially going to join him. Some damage to Wyatt Burton, Stel Beasley, although Wyatt Burton is going to get a free pass here, and that will likely put that 26 car back to just 1 lap down. So an opportunity for Burton to get back in this one and make me look a little bit more intelligent with my pre-race pick.
Honestly, I think you're definitely doing better than I think a lot of us, because I was the one that picked that 199 car, and not so great from about, what is it now, 17th, 18th position. But like we say many times before, as you see some cars maybe looking down pit road there on this early stop, as we follow in that, it was right on cue. Commentator's curse, maybe on the good way for Edwin Onofre to possibly get on a different strategy from everybody else coming down here on lap number 28. But yeah, I gotta say, Kate, give yourself some confidence, dude. Your car's still running this race. Mine's still running, but still got a long way to go to get through this very intense mid-pack racing that we're seeing tonight.
I'll tell you what, I came close to Vegas. I had Esteban Munoz, and he came within like 0.03 of a second or something to get in the win. So my luck on the ovals has been pretty good. Certainly hoping that's the case for Wyatt Burton. That man just cannot seem to turn his season around a proper way. So we see Cale Davidson coming off the pits. He's on that alternate strategy as well. Definitely a 2-stop race here. Going to have some fresh tires. I know that was something, Wesley, that you mentioned at the top of the show. So now we're going to get a little bit of an opportunity to see if fresh Firehawks mean anything deep in traffic.
Go pan through the cars as we sit under this 4th caution of the race. Drivers get a chance to refocus, rehydrate. As we maybe potentially for these cars damaged, maybe a chance to get some Napa Longalands oil in those race engines if they got to take a fast repair. But I gotta say, as we were talking, you mentioned that point about Wyatt Burton not having a great season. You know what I've also noticed? He's not the really only driver that's been struggling at this point in the season. Cale Davidson, that number 2 Ball State car, we've seen him finish perennially second in the championship quite a few times. He's done well in sports cars. He's no stranger doing it well as the Formula College Series. But he's not. There's a number of cars that have been traditionally good, especially Wyatt Burton too. your reigning FC Oval Cup champion. He took 2 wins last season, won the CIO Indy 500, which Trine University had a lot of fun celebrating that, and rightfully so, as well as the win, getting the redemption win at Texas, and very nearly won this race just a couple months ago, well, at least back in the spring season, with that photo finish with Aiken Lamar. Back when we ran this race last. So yeah, those 2 drivers really not having the seasons that they've been looking forward to having from all summer from the long break. I'd say the 2 cars doing a good job to try to get back on track, but that 26 is not necessarily having a good day so far. But again, long race, a lot of things could happen. We've seen things happen in races before, so if you're a driver, just got to put your head back on, take your fast repair, refocus, rehydrates, and you never know with these races. You got to stay forward, stay focused, stay positive. A lot of time still to make up in this race.
One thing we do want to update you all on, Logan McKim was the driver that was deemed at fault for the checkup that happened on that restart. There was a little bit of an incident between Stockner and Beasley. Did not materialize into a yellow, but McKim has been given an end-of-line penalty, which drops that machine for St. Clair College all the way back to the 16th position. Edwin Onofre, the last car on the lead lap, and Wyatt Burton back to 1 lap down. That's your tail end of the field, but back up front, it's still Ball State 1-2. Ricky Paz sits in 3rd, and a couple of St. Clair College cars looking to make some noise in the top 5. Once again, rolling into the restart zone. They've had plenty of practice at it, and we are rolling here on lap number 30 at Michigan. Another good jump from Muhammad Alif.
A good jump from the 12, falling a little bit further back. Some on the replay camera looks to be everybody getting away clean, as we will hopefully get to an extended green flag run. We're already 30 laps in, so already taking the laps away at this race. We're looking 2 wide, 3 wide, possibly down for the race lead. My goodness, we are going for it. We said it. We talked about it, Wesley. We were saying early on the restart. The aggression is already there, boss.
Absolutely. That 3 wide with that white car right behind him, almost trying to push it 4 wide, but he drops back into 2 wide. That 3 wide being very aggressive coming off the start. You have no draft except for that bottom line with Mr. R. Muhammad Ali. And I can't speak today. But he kind of drops back, trying to take back to 2 wide.
First question, 3 wide. Ricky Paz getting really feisty, getting flirting with disaster. It is getting tight for this race lead. It may be lap 30 here, lap 31 here, guys, but it might just be 100, lap 150 in the heads of all these drivers. This is some good tight racing here, folks.
But Ricky Paz not quite able to make that middle lane
4
work.
wide. No, we're not doing 4 wide already.
They are 4
here we
wide.
go.
I believe it's Karen Gosler way on the outside. It looks like he's going to be the one to decide to back out of it in the 30 car. Ben, I got to say, I think that was the smart decision.
I would say start the special, but if we talk about Aaron Gosler for a second, started his race at 18th. He's already, look at this, chasing Badgley, Leaf, Moody, Paz, and for the lead of this race, I would say talk about Aaron Gosler. Had himself a dream start to this race. Might be a lot of cautions, but listen, sometimes you better be lucky than good, and that Gosler car is doing quite a bit of that as we're still looking 2 wide. Ricky Paz not giving up on 3 wides. We enter turn number 2 once again.
Now Ricky really trying to make that outside lane wear in. Something else about Gosler, currently leading the Rookie of the Year points standing, so our best newcomer to the CIL this season, and he's showing exactly why, running inside the top 5. And we have wrecked again, this wreck well behind the lead pack. Looks to me like it was Logan McKim, the 3 car from St. Clair College.
Turn number 2, being the friend of a couple of drivers, Logan McKim, victim of it again. We'll have to see the replay to see exactly how he got himself. We're right on board with that St. Clair machine. Got a little bit on the yellow, possibly a little taste of the apron, and yep, scammer gets scammed, buddy. That's what you get for touching the apron. That is a rather nasty spin to have there. Trying to get all you can off. Try to potentially get a run on the bottom to possibly get all you can to see all the speed we've been seeing on that bottom seam. But you can't toss that yellow line. It may not be NASCAR rules. It may not be. You can't go below the yellow line, but these IndyCar, with the way the arrow set up and the speed you carry, it is not happy when you make it flat when it's on the base part of the racetrack. So unfortunate to see Ford number 3 car with that self spin.
Absolutely, but I got to kind of comment on that little spin. That was some graceful recovery to not hit that wall. I mean, he came within a couple of inches of just slamming it into the wall, and he just kept it out pretty nice. For it being a self-spin, you got to give credit to him. He got good control over that car when he's not in control.
Yeah, that was some great control, but especially also to keep the car out of damage, out of harm's way. You hold on to your fast repair, you might want to come down pit road to possibly clean off those Firestone tires. They may be a little bit toasty from what they should be at this point in the race, but still some great job driving from the 3 car to keep it out of harm's way there.
As we're going to see Keegan Kallick not quite come down pit road. Certainly thought about it. Faked it down there, but he's going to stay out. He'll restart in the 3rd position. And it looks to me like we don't have many takers. Edwin and Ofray towards the rear of the field. One driver who's pitting. And I think he's just about the only one. Brendan Lyman on pit road as well.
Sorry. As well. He'll follow that 78 Oklahoma Panhandle State car. We will get a... That's not Sean Campbell. Sean Campbell was the winner of, speaking of which, hello, Sean Campbell. Didn't realize you ran Formula College, but we will be riding virtually on board with Brendan Lyman, as we'll see from his virtual camera there inside the virtual cockpit. Got a really nice flag there, rocking the Oklahoma Panhandle State's flag in the back. We're also going to see the school spirit. We see a couple of drivers with the cameras, so great to see a little bit of the driver's POV. But yeah, great to see the drivers focusing here. And they actually got drivers from a lot of different places. We got them from Ball State, Indiana. We got them from Oklahoma Panhandle States, big schools, small schools. Jacob Dick, we followed along with now, another Ball State driver to feature the cams tonight. But drivers from everywhere in this series. And I think that especially as a previous driver, having drivers from all different schools, all different backgrounds, privateers, esports teams, you get a big mix of different backgrounds in terms of the investment in the sim racing, and I think that's what makes this league so awesome. Of course, apart from the racing, no less, from here. But still, great to see all the action. That is the quickest pan action I've seen of a cam. Oh, that is going to make me real dizzy. Producer, please, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind. Okay. Last I checked, okay, listen, I wasn't the one to do the paint cams, guys, but I don't think I was the one to redact any paint schemes, so I know I were blocking the race cars, but either way, though, we're all great drivers, and Kale especially. Might be back in the 13th position, but certainly one of the ones to watch throughout this race tonight.
Good to see plenty of drivers with their cams on. There is Nick Henley. Shout out to Nick Henley, won the GT3 classification last night in the Collegiate Sports Car Championship, and I gotta say, I want to go watch that interview back. He had some fantastic reactions that I plan on turning into GIFs later. So hopefully Nick Henley will get an opportunity to get in victory lane again. I think he's smiling. He might be listening to us right now.
He might be. He's having a great old time. Has he stopped smiling this whole race?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Nick, if you're listening, wave at the camera. If you're not listening, blink twice and let us know if you're in danger. But anyways, he's definitely in danger because he is in the middle of the field here.
I don't know. We're going to find out.
He's in the danger zone, I think, for sure. So he should be blinking. He should be blinking 3 times. Let's take a look at what Mr. Henley's looking at. I believe that is the bumper of Adrian Tubakovic. And there is a very special message on the back bumper of that 38 car that we were able to check out last week at Spa. So I want to give a shout out to Adrian Tubakovic. Having a pretty good start to his season thus far. Top 10 at Spa, run believe that was his first start of the year, actually. So looking to build a little bit of momentum there. Driver from St. Clair, Keegan Kallick, also in the top 10. So good run from the drivers up from north of the border. Safety truck going to pull in once again to lead us to the 37th lap here at Michigan. It's our Muhammad Alif. Nick Henley going to try to get as much momentum as he can from the middle of the pack. And we, once again, are green flag racing.
The final way, Nick Henley looking to do his action from all the way back in the 8th position. Already cars single file. We'll look to possibly see 2 wide. Will we see 3 wide here, Cade? I don't know, but if any of the last couple of restarts have anything to go by, it will be coming. Here comes Rithus Moody. Here comes Keegan Kallick for 3 wide for the race lead. And what was that?
And it looks like the 22 of Jake
turn top
involved in a huge
Oh my goodness.
contact with Stell Beasley is going to be at least a fast repair for the 22. I think he still has it left. Let's ride on board, and Wesley, walk us through this one.
And you kind of see that car start spinning, and it's just there's nowhere you can go. You're already 200 miles an hour. Coming out of 2, that car swings up against the wall, and there's 0 reaction time. Nothing you can do but just hope and pray that you make it out, and there's...
Oh, that's a big time hit. Good Lord.
It looks like both cars are going to be either taking a fast repair or are done.
That's
I
gonna be
do
a
not believe that
long
22.
Yeah, before they even do that, they're gonna have a long tow back to pit road, but that's a big time wreck. Oh, thank goodness again. We'll say it once, we'll say it again. Thank good Lord that's in a sim, because that side pod had to do quite a job to protect the virtual driver inside the race car. That is a big time shunt.
Absolutely. We can really thank a bunch of people back in 2017, 2018 for really enforcing that halo being used to enforce all this pod. Formula One endorsed it in 2018. IndyCar was soon to follow with the pod in 2020. Thank you, Mr. Producer, for correcting me. I am sorry.
I gotta say, that's
Um,
the producer. He's coming quite handy a couple times tonight.
Absolutely. He's definitely saved my butt all night long.
Yeah, shout producer, Mr. Whitlock, if you are listening to us, thank you. And by the way, I'm still waiting for potentially for an apology for that Pooper Cars race we had in the summer at the event. Producer, just to let you know, just to let everybody know the stuff I'm being told right now is that I was apparently offered pizzas for the race, but in my request, I was offered, I was saying at least 15 pizzas as collateral damage, and I was offered one. And I know this producer, man, this Mr. Ryan Whitlock guy, oh, how he has stories about him. He's certainly got enough race winnings to afford more than one pizza, so I had to decline that, unfortunately. But listen, you know where I'm at. I've been sent race winnings before. You can get in contact with me. Send the pizzas over. I'll be happy to take the apology, and we can also make a graphic. That'd be nice because everyone's going to know about that.
As we are under our, I believe, our sixth caution, we're kind of seeing a lot of differences here. Maybe we're going to pit, maybe we're not. Maybe we can kind of extend that pit strategy out. I know for a fact our Muhammad Alif is trying to go as long as he can to try and make it maybe into a two-stop instead of a three. But with all these cautions, you have to wonder
right now
when.
where you might be able to come in and put fuel in the car now, and it would be that kind of two-stop race. I'd imagine with all the saving we can do under yellow, it's probably going to be about 7 or 8 more green flag laps. But you don't want to risk having to run that and not getting yellow come out. So yes, we may see some drivers peel off into the pits this time. I do also want to add the 70 of Stell Beasley from Delaware was deemed at fault for that incident. That was the second at fault of the race, and so that car has been disqualified. And on top of that, Beasley, too much damage to continue. So he will be scored in the 21st position, joining Dylan Beatty and Josh Canfer out of the running. But still 18 cars in the race, 18 cars out on track, and they decide not to pit here.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I was scrolling through all the different cars on the racetrack. You would imagine, as we were talking about, 40 laps. We've done quite a few caution laps. I would think possibly we'll lose a couple of cars. Everyone's going to calm down. But I guess the drivers, if they were betting the over on cautions, they are betting the over because they're going to be probably start running low on fuel here. So the question is, if we extend this run, could we get a couple more laps on our belts? We may see green flag pit stops. And like we said before, Cade, that's going to throw the race strategy as well as the attention of drivers away because it's. Especially probably, at least my experience doing IndyCar ovals, you pit most times under caution. That's just naturally how the races go. But in that sense, you don't have a whole lot of practice doing green flag pit stops, your entries, which again, I know Wesley, you run the College Cup series and probably do Kate as well, doing a lot more of the Cup stuff. The way you enter off before, get down into the pit entry in a stock car is very, very, very different how you do it in a Dallara, IR18 Honda or Chevy chassis. So I'm going to be curious to see if we see green flag stops. Will drivers be able to get down cleanly, and will we possibly see a caution or any chaos from that pit entry?
See that time up there in the top left corner, an hour 10 left. If that timer runs out before we do 125 laps, we will call the race so we don't keep anybody up too late. It is a school night after all, and this is the Collegiate iRacing League. So we're just about to take the green flag for lap number 40. Lap number 41 now underway. Our Muhammad Alif once again gets the jump. He's led them all today. He and Lucas Moody run 1-2.
Starts off ball state 1-2. It is staying ball state 1-2 as we start lap 41. So we hope we get close to the 1/3 mark, which will come at lap number 50. But Muhammad Alif doing his best to hold off his good friend Lucas Moody. But Keegan Cal, we saw him be aggressive on the last restart. Will he look 3 wide as they enter turn 3 on this restart? Yes, he will. Here we go, 3 wide.
And it looks like he is not quite able to get clear. He's going to stay next to Lucas Moody. Moody peeks his nose out, runs the middle. There are 3 wide across the stripe as here comes Gosler, Willoughby, Cummings, Paz, the rest of the field now bunching back up the lap after the restart. And once again, we resume racing in the Hornet's Nest as Adam Willoughby is now the one into the 3rd spot, and the yellow has come out once again.
Watch that. Oh, hard
Big
car
wreck
in the
in the back,
wall.
it's
That looks to be a St. Clair. I believe that is Logan McKim in the 3 machine. Running alongside Red Lyman coming out of 2. I think that looks to be a little bit of net code. We haven't seen it so far in this run-in, but those cars look like they were going to be clean coming out of 2. I think the silver guy takes something different. So we'll right on board with Brendan Lyman now. The 78 Oklahoma Panel State. Oh, that was contact. A little front to rear, and yep, around the rosy goes Logan McKim. That is going to be, I believe, a very fast repair done. If it hasn't already, that could be a race over incident for that St. Clair car.
We're going to take another look at it here. And we're going to see, I think the 78 car, we're talking about cold tires early in a run. It looks to me like as soon as the 3 gets a little bit of a run, yeah, Brennan comes above that first seam and just makes a little bit of contact. So unfortunately, the victim there is McKim, and he's going to have to tow back to pit road, possibly use fast repair, and see what can be done to that 3 car. If that is day over, he will also be joining Jake Dick, another driver who has fallen out of the running. However, with all these yellows, Wyatt Burton has made his way back onto the lead lap. Edwin and Onofre still looking to repair some damage, and Brendan Lyman may considering pitting there after contact. Everybody else may consider pitting as well, because like we've said, we are at the very top of the fuel window.
We'll see if cars start to peel down. We follow with the leaders now. I'm starting to fall back. Is anyone going to try to do something a little different to change up the race strategy? I would say we're probably not, because again, like we said, being a big super speedway race here in Michigan, if you pit differently, you're going to hold up track position, and if you don't have track position, you're going to be in the mid pack. And as we've seen many times with these cautions, if you're in the mid pack, you are right in the danger zone, in the twilight, possibly being involved in one of these wrecks and using a fast repair, if not ending your race. So I think it's probably wise for these drivers to, at least for now, stay out with the leaders. But again, we'll see how this field window plays out. If we will see green flag stops at some point.
Now, something interesting to think about here is you're looking at that timer in the top corner. We have about an hour left to run in this race, and we haven't even completed 50 laps. So if you're thinking that we're not quite halfway through the race, but we are halfway on time, maybe we're not going to go the full distance. Maybe we're only going to run enough laps where you could make this a one-stop race. Now you're looking at taking a 2-hour race, pit at the hour mark, almost run it a little bit like an endurance race where you're racing time rather than laps. That could be some strategy that's being played. I don't know how heard of that is, but that could be an option. You're racing to the checkered flag, and that checkered flag is going to come out at either 2 hours or 125 laps. So you are chasing 2 different targets in this situation, and that could play into the minds of these drivers. So the pace truck going to turn the lights off on top of that. It'll be 1 lap until another restart here in Michigan, though. Do want to take a moment to shout out our everybody who works over here at the CIL, all of our admins, all of our stewards, all of our officials, of course, our lovely producer, Ryan Whitlock, bringing you live coverage here with me from the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Charge on. And, of course, Wesley Shaw Benefiore joining me in the booth tonight. Our wonderful sponsors, the Longland Corporation, Napa, and the University of Northwestern Ohio. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching this race. If there's a specific driver that you'd like us to highlight, maybe a team that you want an update on, go ahead and let us know in that YouTube chat. And if you do enjoy the video and you want to see more Collegiate iRacing League action, go ahead, like and subscribe, and tune in on Monday when the M2 College Cup Series goes to Talladega. So we're going to bring you lots of racing action this week, a little bit super speedway heavy with Michigan, then Talladega, and then next week Formula College Series goes to Pocono up in Pennsylvania. So that is sure to be a very exciting and very high speed, fast paced race as well. So it is still Muhammad Alif, Lucas Moody leading themselves to the grid. But Adam Willoughby has been able to make his way up to the third spot, the highest that he has run in the first 56 minutes of this race. So Willoughby is now going to have a crack to see if he can do anything with a really big run here on the first lap after the restart. Muhammad Alif in the 12 car is going to take the green flag for the 7th, 8th, or 9th time today, and we are again racing here at Michigan.
Well, I think it was very nearly a checkout. I think Ricky Paz almost got a bad run from the restart. Kiki Kalk almost in the back of that 19 ECU Valparaiso machine. We will fall on board. Green flag. Everything looks clean for the moment. Muhammad Alif will take him through turn 2, and we'll see it again. Do we go 3 wide? Do we go 2 wide? Gentlemen, if I was you, I'd take it chill. I think we want to see some green flag laps here. So please, let's keep it clean. Please. I beg. Never mind. Commentator's curse. Here we go. 3 wide. Yep. Here we go.
Adam Willoughby, the one making it work. Going to try it.
Almost.
Nearly contact there.
Almost 4 wide.
4 wide.
Oh my goodness, we're possibly 3 wide back. Muhammad Alif, you might want to take your foot to the pedal, but be careful because there is Lucas Moody humming along in that middle lane. Ricky Pass will try to make it something, but not enough momentum off of turn 2. I think Willoughby's going to clear him well and back to 2 lanes for now, but it has not stopped people from trying 3 wide in this race here, guys. It is getting real, again, feisty. We've said it once again, feisty. I think Willoughby checking up Ricky Pass, but it is getting toasty out here.
We've kind of been seeing it all night. Every time on that restart, we see him go 3 wide. So I'm placing my bets that if you can't make that run down the middle, you're just going to have to stick there, try and block that 3rd lane, try and hold it, and see if you can get someone to come up on your rear and get you a little bit of draft to edge ahead. As we kind of go 3 wide again, just barely, as he kind of drops back in that middle lane. But Muhammad Alif is still keeping that lead.
Holy cow, I tell you.
I think my pick is still rock solid this week, just as it was last week.
Yeah, if he stays in the bottom, he's going to be the most clean here. Also, 4 wide. Is that? Yes, it is. Oh my goodness! Someone give me a tie. I don't know if I can handle this much longer. Oh my God! Almost contact between Moody and Paz.
Someone pinch me. That was an amazing little save from that little tap.
I hope that's a save. I think there's just an act of iRacing gods not blessing us with another netcode wreck. Oh my goodness.
I pushed back in the 2 wide on the front, but 3 wide on the back.
That is something that you got to think about when you're running this close together. As much as you hate to do it, you have to take netcode into account. You don't want to be super duper close if you can help it. I saw a moment there with Lucas Moody really hugging Muhammad Alif tight. And you got to imagine that those guys are thinking, even if they're still technically an inch apart, iRacing could send them around at just about any time. So they got to be a little bit careful. Riding along with Nick Henley, looking at the back bumper of Keegan Kallick sitting solidly in that 3rd spot. Kallick's teammate Tubakovic right there on the outside 3rd car in the middle groove. With a couple cars I thought were making a run of way high at the outside. Yes, that's Wyatt Burton from Trine. Mr. Excitement doing it up top, and there goes Tubakovic with a huge run out of turn 4.
There he is, passing 3 wide for the race to lead. Muhammad Alif still holding this bottom as we come to run laps. Lucas Moody doing his best. Will they stay 3 wide? It's really not going to matter because Muhammad Alif will clear on the bottom and still hold on to that race lead, but still many cars challenging for this race. Wyatt Burton now in the middle. As I'm watching him now, he's now in that 3rd lane. I'm watching in that 3rd lane, middle of a 3 wide battle. We'll see if he gets to the front, but Mr. Excitement, we thought we'd forget about him from his early incidents. That is not the case. He is right back in this thing.
I see you got 2 wide on these 3 lanes, but right behind them, you see they're going 4 wide. 4 wide on the 4th row.
They are not.
You can kind of cut back a little bit of a chopper view, Mr. Producer.
I don't know.
They're running 4 wide.
Leslie, I don't know about that. The viewers might get scared as we are watching this race right now because if watching the scene all from the top, I mean, look at this thing. It is bees in a hive. If we thought multi-class with sports cars last night was hectic in the rain, this might be on another level with the level of speed. This is something else. If you ever watched INDYCAR racing, if you're used to watching YouTube Daytona or Talladega, my friend, this is a little different, and with the consequences around here, it is something you can watch yourself. 3 wide also, possibly 4 is back.
It's a big run up the middle for Nick Stockner. Charged to the inside of Aaron Gosler and went from 11th to 7th down a single straightaway. Got a huge tow from Tubakovic now on the bumper of that 38 car. as a little bit of a wiggle there on corner exit. Adam Willoughby looking for somewhere to go, but that third lane just hasn't proved to have enough momentum down the straightaways to be worth anything. So for the moment, they're going to elect to stay double wild.
Double wild. Double
I tried
wild.
to say double file and double
I
wild
don't know.
at the same
I was
time.
going to
And
say,
you know what?
I think double wild's I think it's a better
just
word.
about fits the vibe. Absolutely.
does.
Double wild. Oh, we're triple wild now, if you can believe it.
Triple
may
wild.
even go
Are we playing
quadruple
Uno?
wild.
What is
I'm
this?
not entirely sure. Oh my gosh! And now we're
Oh,
single
watch
file,
out. We got
three-car
wrecked.
round.
Wrecked.
Oh, and they're wrecking far around. I believe that's Nick Henley and another. And the caution is out once again. It's Adrian Kubakovic.
Yep,
Oh, and this
you're
was a
there
good
again,
run.
really tight coming out of 4, but I think got a little too greedy. Yeah, that 64 I think washed up a little too high. He wasn't quite aware the car was on the outside, and that's going to bring both those cars to a rest in the infield coming out of 4.
You kind of saw him taking that high line for about 4 or 5 laps, trying to get back on that front little band there with Muhammad Ali, but kind of fell back, got a little greedy, trying to make whatever move he could to get back up there, and ended up costing him.
I want to say Kubakovic. I said this on Henley. I think Kubakovic might just come down race back. I see a steering wheel turning left. But I think 64 was holding straight. That's I think could be a penalty for that 30. Again, I'm not a steward. I have no legal bounding over this race, but if it were me, at least from this replay angles, I think the 30 may have judicial actions coming his way potentially.
And this is the first time all day that we've seen a wreck happen inside the top 10. A lot of our incidents have been single car or maybe 2-car wrecks towards the back half of the field. But finally, after about 50, 55 laps or so, it's finally heated up enough. We've gotten a wreck, and we do have most of the field on pit road. A couple guys decide to stay out and make it exciting. These are guys who have been on pit road at least once today. Cale Davidson, Wyatt Burton, and Nick Stockner, I believe, have all made at least one pit stop, so they're going to stay out and stretch this as long as they can. Everybody else is in for likely 4 tires and full fuel to try to make it potentially the rest of the race. We got 57 minutes left, and if we do wind up making it on laps, they may need another pit stop here. So there's a lot of interesting strategies going on. But folks, Nick Stockner has taken the lead at an oval, and something interesting happening here. Keegan Kallick, I believe, beat Lucas Moody off pit road.
Oh, wow.
And that would break up those Ball State cars for the first time today.
Yeah. Finally looks to be a ball. Somewhat looks to be a car interjecting in that Ball State dominance we've seen with Moody and Leaf running at the front of this field. But Keegan Kallick in that St. Clair car, very dominant, a really strong car. A car that actually I was running with him last spring. A car that I think over the course of his rookie season he took a lot of leaps and bounds. We saw him. If we even go far back as to the second race at Iowa back in the spring when he was probably about a couple cautions, a couple acts of the racing gods away from winning that race. He is no stranger to running up the front of the field and to doing well in these ovals. So great to see that 29 doing well in this race. He's already got himself interjected in the wall of ball. We'll see how he holds on throughout the run. Again, that 29, I'm sure, pretty ecstatic to be running up with the wall so far.
Something else to think about, too, is for the first time today, those BSU cars find themselves in traffic. They've got 4 cars ahead of them. Brennan Lyman stayed out in addition to that trio that I mentioned earlier. So with Stockner, Burton, and Davidson controlling this restart, it's going to be a little bit of a different ball game for the 12 and the 13. They're going to have to deal with now not only blocking the runs, but also making and taking them. Meanwhile, Nick Stockner finds himself in the opposite situation. He's been driving from the back all day. Remember, qualified shotgun on the field all the way back in 21st. He's passed 20 cars to now be leading the field. So he is going to have to do some blocking. And Ben, if the beginning portion of this race has been any indication, his best bet is going to be to hold the bottom.
Yeah, hold the bottom. I'm also looking at, while we're talking about the bottom, we did have some cars stay out there. Looks to be, again, the 124 of Nick Stockner, Wyatt Burton, the 26 from Trine also staying out, Cale Davidson staying out, the number 2 from Ball State. So we do have a Ball State car running up there, and the 78 of Brennan Lyman. So 4 cars staying out. I believe Lyman's probably staying out to possibly maybe get a lap back, or is he on the lead lap? He actually is on the lead lap. So I'm curious, because we mentioned time, we mentioned the clock. I know this is not sports car racing. We shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. But the nature of iRacing servers, that's the situation we find ourselves in for these drivers. So curious. The question is, who's going to be racing the clock? Who's racing the laps? But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And again, if we have a long green flag run, they're going to have to do green flag pit stops. So wonder how that's going to affect the field behind them potentially.
So Nick Stockner going to lead us to the green. I believe this time, yes, that safety truck pulls in. Stockner brings the field to the top of the track and hits the restart zone. So for the first time in this race, we've got a new leader. It's the 124 of Nick Stockner, the alumni from Clemson, leads us to the green and fires it down into the tri-oval.
Oof, there might have been some contact further back. I believe Riley Birkins getting involved with the checkup on the restart, but the front of the row rolling off green for Nicholas Stockner to finally see himself leading laps here in this race here from Brooklyn up here at Michigan International Speedway. Great to see that 124. We'll lead him away out of 2.
Yeah, Wyatt Burton's going to be the one to get the first big run down the straightaway. Actually swings high. You can see Cale Davidson just behind him. I believe Lyman still holding off a leaf as here comes the run. Burton goes to the outside. The driver from Trine is going to lead the lap, but I don't think he's going to be able to get clear of Stockner. They're double wide behind him. Here comes Davidson, Lyman, and the entire field.
Yep, they're coming off side by side, the 124 and the 26. Two definitely drivers who definitely have been no strangers, but who is a stranger up the front? Brennan Lyman. Here he comes, making the outside work, finally, potentially, but we might get the 3 or 4. He may struggle to hold it, and yeah, I'm afraid that's going to be a no-can-do for the 78. It'll still be the 124 hanging on the bottom. Coming out of here with Wyatt Burton still challenging on that outside. There may be some 3 wide action. Cale Davidson, hello, how you doing?
Got Cale Davidson poking it up the middle. Burton actually did get a good run off the corner, maybe the best we've seen all day. Finally got Lyman tucked in behind him, so basically trying to get a little bit of a line formed up. They've also got Muhammad Alif up there. Now they're going to slip back a little bit on the back straightaway. Stockner continues to lead. He's got now Cale Davidson at his outside, and Keegan Kallick has pushed his way up the bottom all the way up to 3rd, now challenging for 2nd.
Yep, Ricky Paz also challenging back as well. He's up in the 4th position. He might be under 5th. I think with that outside lane must be challenging a little bit as well. With Grant Schiller looking to the far outside with 3 wide. It may be a tough proposition off 3 and 4, but we'll see if he can get a run off 1 and 2. It is getting really tough. You have a car coming down off pit road. It looks to be a little bit of lap traffic. Hopefully they should get down to the bottom nice and safely, please. Thank you very much. Edwin Alfred, the 199. I'm not sure who that car is, unfortunately. It is Edwin. Thank you very much. But still the 124 holding station. But still, again, we've seen this mid-pack. If you are in the lead this race, you might as well be taking a little bit of agita in yourself, because it is stuff to 2 wide. Again, 3 wide, looking back 3 rows deep.
We were kind of discussing this earlier about the whole timing thing, being aggressive on the driving. We kind of see Nick Stockner just holding it down bottom, trying to keep his elbows out. And it's hard to pass with these cars on this track. We kind of see them going back and forth, but nothing that really sticks if you're leading. They kind of run 3, 4 wide, and nothing really sticks unless you're on bottom. But something about that bottom line has been working all night between Muhammad Alif to now Nick Stockner as we still go back up to 2 wide. Now, will we see that 3 wide? It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I gotta say from my experience running against some IndyCar officials, if there's one thing I've learned about these this updated tires and aerodynamics, the bottom reigns supreme. I was hoping we possibly would see some more action of the middle lane, possibly again section from 2 wide. We see Cale Davidson challenging for that lead, doing the best he can. But with the aero wash and what these car is now capable of doing since the refresh, if you are not on the bottom, you might want to get a little dicey trying to pass up on the top. It's not easy. You got to be aggressive with the side drafting and what have you, but it is definitely not as easy, I don't think, as it used to be. At least with the ultimate. And I think again, the 2 car and all the cars trying to sit behind, they're all trying to figure out, if I can't get to the front, do I want to save fuel? Do I want to try to get positions? Do I sit back? It's all a huge, big 220 plus mile an hour game of chess for all these drivers right now.
Let's see, if I had to make a decision right now, if I'm sitting on bottom, it would be tuck in, keep my head down, set it on map 8, take whatever fuel saving I can, make it to the end, and hopefully try and make this a one-stop race.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how I feel about map 8, because map 8's for the pace car for when we're done laps, and I'm sure probably these drivers got used to using map 8. Maybe map 5. I was thinking about map 3 or 4. Map 5, I maybe with all the checking that we're doing, if you're a couple rows back. But again, sit in the pack. One thing to think about with the in-car adjustments is your engine maps. Drivers have access to 8 different fuel maps, 1 through 8. 1 being the most powerful, 5 being the least powerful. You also have 6 and 7, which you can use. It's basically full power, but it's a little different on the gas. Map 8, then, as we talked about, is for the safety cars. So the driver's going to have to think about a bunch of different things throughout this race. Again, if you're sitting far back, if you're not leading, you also could be trying to win this race, not by actually leading the race, but by being better on fuel. If you see Riley Perkins getting the penalty for that previous caution from the previous incident in this race. But again, back to the fuel mileage though. If you're not leading this race, if you can't get by somebody, you can try to beat him in the pits, whether it be under caution or green flag stops. And the fuel mileage with your in-car adjustments is one of those ways you can do that.
We saw there just with that penalty, Riley Perkins unfortunately going to be disqualified for an incident that occurred on the restart. Luckily did not bring out a yellow, but Perkins is going to be scored in the 20th position when this race is done. Back up front, I did see something there. Made it just a little bit different than Vegas. Cale Davidson was actually able to get a nose ahead of Stockner. At Vegas, we didn't really see that at all. In this case, it seemed like the 2 and the 19 were able to get just a little bit better momentum down the straightaways, really hold those cars to the bottom. I think once the tires wear just a little bit more, that could be a move that gives more momentum, a little bit more speed relative to that top lane, and they may be able to make something happen. Right here, though, Stockner's actually clear on corner exit, so we had the opportunity to wash up a little bit, not work the wheels so hard, and Cale Davidson going to try to fight back on the outside. But yeah, what you've been talking about, now may just be the chance where we're trying to log laps. We just hit the halfway mark in this race a few laps ago, so still a long way to go, and you can see just how twitchy these cars are. You do not want to take any unnecessary risks.
Running off that unnecessary risk, we kind of saw it earlier. We saw one driver spin twice at the same exact corner, so these cars definitely do like their very touchiness. If you move that wheel maybe 1 or 2 degrees slightly too far left, you're going to be spinning that car down low. If you spin it right, you're going to be in a wall.
Yeah, thank you now at this point. I think we've done enough laps on the tires to a point where we can do a little DW, say, yeah, they're driving good. They're driving good. The drivers might be scared out of their minds, but these cars, they're not warm by now. I don't think they ever will be in this race.
So we're going to take a look now at when drivers have been on pit road. Nick Stockner last came in on lap 24, so a very generous fuel number would have him pitting on about lap 65, which is a lap that we have already passed. So that 124 car likely on fumes, begging for a yellow right now. If he doesn't get it in the next couple of laps, I would imagine that he's going to peel off and come down pit road. Cale Davidson and Brennan Lyman and Wyatt Burton are all about in the same boat. Those drivers could potentially get to about lap 80 or 90. That window is really, really big because of all of the fuel saving they've been able to do behind the safety car. Everybody else, lap 56, they're going to be good until probably the 90s, maybe even close to lap 100, which could get us close to the 2-hour limit of this race. Only time will tell. Stockner just a couple of laps left. And the question then is really going to be who's going to hand the lead of this race to. Cale Davidson may have an opportunity to jump down. Keegan Kallick may have an opportunity to fill that hole, become the first car on the bottom, and he may be able to jump to the top of the running order, as that is, I believe, Muhammad Ali swinging it to the outside, and Stockner is coming in.
Yeah, Stockner coming down pit road. Don't forget that's going to be the first victim to come down pit road. There was a big question again before this race. Would drivers want to exit off, want to do pit entry off of 3, or would they dare risk it for the 4? But I think Stockner in that 124 Clumsy car will follow him into pit lane. I think chose the right choice. You're leading the field. You do not want to park it in front of, 18 angry race cars all trying to do the same thing as you as lead the race. So I think a wise move from the 124 to come down safely there through the apron off 3 and 4.
And to answer my question, that moves Cale Davidson to the lead. Kallick's still the second car on the bottom, but now Ricky Paz is leading on the top. Got a little bit more aggressive there, and he's actually going to slide in front of the 29 car, which now makes Muhammad Ali the lead car up top. He is pushing through up to the second spot. Car behind is Wyatt Burton, and Burton goes 3 wide on the entrance of turn 1.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to do anything out there. That third lane, people have been trying it, but it's been not a whole lot of momentum. Without really side draft, especially with how much the bottom is strong. I feel like one thing I've been noticing about this car, we've called it so far. You can definitely get runs off two, and especially going down to 3 and 4. But if you want to make a pass, you have to side draft extremely hard. And yes, that's. Some people may question, Ben, it's an IndyCar. Side draft doesn't exist. I personally think it does. I've ran the race at Nashville, And unless you hug that guy on the bottom like he's your best friend, it is extremely hard to get a run on the outside. So, but of course that runs the natural chance of possibly getting into some net situations. Scuffling out the back. I think they were talking about me possibly getting a little bit wild, and those cars might have been chesting the waters with some of that side drafting. But the outside lane, if you can, it's hard. It's very hard. But we'll see how this race goes. The question: do you want to lead laps? Do you want to spin all the fuel, or do you just want to sit back and relax and let the action happen in front of you? That's the question these drivers are still asking here, with Cale Davidson still leading here on lap 76 of 125.
All right there, scary moment with Wyatt Burton got down and made a little bit of contact with Adam Willoughby. Fortunately, they were able to keep it straight. That little moment happened on a straightaway. I think if that happens in a corner, it's about a hellacious 6-car wreck. But for now, everybody keeps it rolling as you've got Muhammad Alif there working the middle with Grant Schiller behind him. Last season, we saw Schiller running as a rookie for St. Clair College. Now coming into season 2, he swapped numbers over to the 5. He swapped paint schemes to that white car. So a little bit of a new look for Grant Schiller, and it's doing him good as he has worked his way up to the 4th position after qualifying outside the top 10 here this afternoon. So it's been an up day so far for Schiller, hoping to end on a high note. I was going to say an up and down day, but he hasn't had the down part, and hopefully it never comes. Grant Schiller, P5, able to make the pass on Lucas Moody, and for the moment, makes it stick.
Yeah, I think to that point, with St. Clair, I'd say probably the FCC or the road course, they haven't had to say the strongest of programs on the road course. But we look now, Grant Schiller in the 4th spot, Keegan Calick now in the 5th spot, running inside, right behind this lead pack. So yeah, 2 St. Clair cars running inside the top 5. I'm sure that Saints Esports program is absolutely astounding with how they're running here from Michigan. Finally see some cars. They've been working a lot with Schiller, with Calick run last season. Now with some experience under their belts, it's going here to use to be here fighting for this win here.
Exactly, but speaking of experience, you do got to give it to those Ball State guys. You got one in the lead. You got Muhammad Ali sitting in that middle lane. You got 2 or 3 other Ball State cars all in this little pack here. You have to wonder, are they working together or are they working for themselves? I think right now, Muhammad Ali kind of sitting in that middle pack. He's wanting to get right behind him, if not take for that lead.
I don't think you want to go for the lead necessarily there, Wesley, because at the same time, you want to come down the bomb, you're going to open up to some cars behind you. Ricky Paz, Grant Schiller, the Keegan Calick. The St. Clair cars could get in that outside lane and try to possibly team up against this wall of ball that's forming here at the front. So if you're Muhammad Ali, as much as you want to lead laps, get your points and try to fight back in the championship, you might want to be thinking, you know what? If I protect the 2, I can trust the car to my inside. I know what he's going to do, and him and I can control the tempo of this race behind us and possibly force those cars behind to get over aggressive, make mistakes, and possibly take themselves out of contention here.
I see they kind of learn a little bit wide on 3 wide, but he kind of backs it down to 2. What's wrong with that Ball State? I think with them, they're definitely getting that ball rolling with that wall.
Yeah, ball is rolling with the 78th. Not Sean Campbell. He probably wished on the road course he was Sean Campbell. I mean, none of us are really. But Brendan Lyman in that OPSU car rolling off into corner number 2 from the 9th spot. Got involved in those earlier incidents, but he is doing his best to hold on to this lead pack as best he can. Keep himself in contention in this race. Fighting on this 2 wide at the back. I almost got confused with the lead, possibly. I thought something was going to happen up there. Yeah, how about you, Rob? I'm like, this is being a bit too calm for what we saw early in the race. I think we're due for a little bit of funny stuff coming here.
And I'm kind of hoping for a little bit longer of a green run. We've been seeing caution after caution after caution. Way too much fuel saving on my part. I want to see some action. I want to see some green flag pits.
That's going to be interesting.
We may be getting some soon here. You got to talk about Cale Davidson, Wyatt Burton, and Brennan Lyman on an alternate strategy. All came in around lap 40. The estimated fuel run is 40 laps, so doing that math, they could be pitting any time here. You know, Lyman's at the rear of this field. He's probably saving a little bit more gas than Davidson. Davidson leading the line has got to be pushing that fuel margin. That's a 44 lap pit stop. We've really only had a couple of cautions since then. So it is going to be really, really close to see how long Davidson can go. He may drop to pit road, and I don't know if that's going to hand the lead. And as I speak of it, Ricky Paz shoves it to the inside. Davidson peels off. He's going to pit. We'd expect Burton in a couple laps, Lyman in a few laps, but for the moment, it's hands the lead over to Ricky Paz, and I think he knew that move was coming because he did not want to give Muhammad Ali an opportunity to jump down.
Oh, that's tight. We see a little bit of Davidson on the speedometer. They're over the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. You got a question. Did that number 2 car get a speed penalty coming to pit road there? I don't know. It'll be tight.
Something that we want to mention too, we saw it with Nick Stockner. He went a lap down when he pit all by himself, and the same fate is going to befall Cale Davidson, which is going to leave us with just 10 cars on the lead lap. And I believe 9 of those 10 are in this main pack. We're looking at the top 6 right now. Muhammad Alif with Lucas Moody behind him, actually able to lead that lap from the top lane. So that move was actually able to work out positively for the top lane. No pun intended, with Ricky Paz on the bottom there. And now car
little white line. Oh, what was that?
Peeling off, freaking us out a little bit. That is Keegan Kallick. I think maybe making some room for Grant Schiller to hop into the bottom. A little bit of teammate work there from St. Clair. No.
Fighting here at the front of the Ricky Paz, Leaf doing his best. We talked about side drop possibly a factor, maybe leading off a little bit, coming off of 4. I think that 12 car is going to lead the lap there this time by, with 40 to go. They're going hard side driving off at 2. Will leave right to the side pod of that number 19 car. Can they keep it clean? They're rubbing there. Maybe they're not necessarily rubbing. Maybe netcode they're rubbing. But that 12 car doing everything it can to make that outside line viable. And again, you got to be aggressive if you want to make it happen. And that 12 car is taking no prisoners to put that 19 under some serious pressure right now, coming through 3 and 4.
And I believe at the rear of this field, Wyatt Burton has peeled off and made a green flag pit stop as well. So the only one who has yet to pit in this group is not Sean Campbell, Brennan Lyman up there in the 78 car. Once he drops down pit road, that'll complete this cycle. And then we'll be talking about the next cycle. This big group here being led by Paz and Alif on lap 56. So we would predict that they can go all the way up to about maybe lap 97 or so, which would be 28 laps to go. So about 10 laps before we see some more stops at the line. It is Ricky Paz by just a few thousandths of a second. So that time, actually, momentum went to the bottom. It's going to be a really interesting game to see here which lane prevails. And which lane winds up not. Brendan Lyman has pitted, and he's going to fall back to the 9th position with that pit and complete the cycle. There's that 78 car. Good run for Lyman, and he is hoping that he's going to be able to make it the rest of the distance. Going to be very, very close for Burton and Davidson. Nick Stockton are going to be stretching it extra far, but those far cars may have finished their pit stops for the day.
You'll see the car still struggling at the length. I want to be curious. I'm sure I'll be able to get, for at least from my timing screens. Is Lyman the first car 1 lap down? So I believe he'll be receiving Cale, but it's actually Cale Davidson. Again, the car's being lapped down. We do have the lucky dogs, ability to get your lap back, but you do have to be the lead car on that lap back. So track position is still very vital here. We see Leaf and Ricky Paz still doing good for this lead. But again, track position with that lucky dog still important. If you're not that lead lap car, you are staying the lap down, and that's not something you want to do when you're possibly fighting as we run here to lap 90 of 125.
And something else interesting to mention with that lucky dog fight, Aaron Gosler there in the 8th position has lost the draft. I do not believe that he is part of this group. And so the cars with the draft are rapidly catching Gosler. There he is, hanging on to the tail end of the lead lap, but getting run down by Paz and Alif. If we pan out far enough, we will see the 19 and the 12. Yeah, he's exiting turn 2, and they're not just exiting turn 1, so quite a ways to go. But if they do catch him, Gosler would be the free pass recipient, and Lyman, Burton, and Stockton will be trapped 1 lap down. So that's something else to keep your eye on, as the front of the pack, they're maybe starting to realize that we're getting a racing, and there is less than 40 laps to go here at Michigan.
Strategy can play a big part. You got to think about Ricky Paz, Muhammad Alif leading at the front of this field. We talk about this race now, go long green flag run. Fuel mileage is going to matter huge. You have the track position if you're the 19 or if you're the 12, but you are also in clean air. You know what that means? I can't run in map 5, because if so, we might be 5 wide going to possibly one of these corners. So you're going to have to probably run map 1. I don't think map 2 is possible. It's got to be a map 1 from the front of the field from here at Michigan. So if you run there, you're burning a lot more fuel than, say, Adam Willoughby or any of the cars that are sitting behind Lucas Moody sitting in that second row back. It's even doing a number for them, and probably even more from some cars further back, as you see Alif challenging out of 3 and 4, still trying to make the outside work. But again, fuel mileage is going to matter. If you're at the front of the field, you will have to pit sooner than everybody else. So I'm sure that's something that we're thinking about here in this race. When do you want to lead? How long do you want to lead it? And if you're leading, got to be careful on your pit entries because you have a lot of cars coming on you, and they're coming on pretty fast.
Absolutely, and to kind of speak about that strategy, I do want to point out we do have our two current leaders in the series, Mr. R. Muhammad Alif with Ricky Paz. To even run with that strategy, you have to be thinking R. Muhammad Alif is wanting to keep this win, take it down with fastest lap. He wants the win just to further extend his lead out to keep Ricky Paz from taking in on his second, maybe get him a little bit further in the championship to bring home another for Ball State University. As we kind of see Mr. Jake Cummings back down in 7th, he's our number 3, trying to get his way back up just to secure his 3rd spot just a little bit better, or maybe push up a little bit, maybe come home with a win. We don't know, as we're kind of pushing into a single line here. Maybe R. Muhammad Alif is thinking to save a little bit more fuel.
Pit stops are going to happen. Yeah, there goes Alif. I believe we'll see that car's behind, but we have takers down pit road. Here come the stops. Here we go. And we see, again, that 12 car who's leading, having to come down early.
He's running that map 1, burning up all the fuel, all the tires. I think personally he's just going to take fuel.
Might be something you want to think about. Shorten your pit stop might get you out there sooner. Which again, with the lucky dog and having a track position like we said before, it could be very costly. Or not just like costly, it could be beneficial to have that lucky dog in your back pocket.
Alif overshot his pit box there. That is going to be actually a huge time penalty. Lucas Moody is able to shoot ahead and gap R. Muhammad Alif on pit exit. It'll be really interesting to see where they blend with Davidson, Lyman, and Burton. But Lucas Moody, a much faster pit stop, has effectively given the lead of this race to that 13 car.
Yeah, 13 car going to come up on some traffic behind him. But we think about Lucas Moody. He was sitting, as we mentioned before, sitting in the back of that pack, sitting in the second row back. Oh my goodness. I think I might have seen contact. I want to interrupt. I might have seen something that may have happened for the lead. If we could possibly get to that change. Caution is out on the Speedway on lap 96. Oh my goodness. What has happened?
Adam
I need to know
Willoughby
what's happened.
sent into the fence.
Adam Willoughby from the front of his race. Oh!
Ricky Paz slowed down to get to pit road and slowed down right in the way. You can see it looks like...
Is there a netcode involved? They were running very confident from this field. Oh, it's check. I think the netcode... I think so that might be a fatality from that code. Might have been what caused the 022 to come skidding to a stop coming out of the forward there, Cade.
Yeah, Adam Willoughby, huge hit to the outside wall as the pit cycle was happening. We're going to slow it down and ride along with Willoughby and see if contact actually occurred. In real time, it looked like Paz tried to pit out of the middle groove, but looking back on it, I think he was pretty close to the white line, getting ready to pit off of turn 4 instead of pitting entering 3 like we saw a few of those single cars do. Looking at the left front wing of the 022 for the Clemson alumni, he had a pretty good run on Paz. And I think Paz did a fine job signaling that he was coming to pit road. And it looks to me contact going to happen on corner exit here. There's a pretty good gap between those two cars. And Willoughby does come down.
Contact. That's got to be netcode. Yeah. Oh, a nice tire.
Not at all. That's close to 7 inches. And you can see the suspension bouncing. Basically lets that car gallop into the outside wall. I don't know if Willoughby has a fast repair left, but this is going to completely turn the strategy of this race on its head. Ricky Paz was in the pits when the yellow came out. And so he may be able to retain the lead of this race, as all of the other lead lap cars are going to have to pit, which will keep the drivers that pit under green a lap down. That is my guess, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, that's going to shake out quite a bit of things here, Cade. But the quick, we talked about before on the in terms of pit entries, a lot of cars choosing to exit off of 3. Ricky Paz choosing to do it off of turn 4, and I bet you that 022 Clemson alumni was not thinking of that. Whether there's radio messages or not, we are not quite sure. But that was the chance you take trying to pit off of turn number 4 with a whole pack of cars behind you. Is that will the cars see it? And well, sure, netcode got involved. There may have been probably would have been okay without the netcode existing in the first place. There was a chance that might have happened, and that's just high-speed IndyCar racing. You have to take that into account when you're not just the car choosing the pit, but also the car when you're trying to avoid cars that are pitting. You got to be very careful of that stuff. And unfortunately, the 022, a netcode bystanding victim in that incident.
Absolutely. We were kind of on a good little run there. We were going for what seemed like about 30 to 40 laps. Our Muhammad Alif and a couple of other cars shot down the pit lane, expecting for a little burst of a pit, get back on the race and try and get some times back in. But that strategy is now turned topsy-turvy. The race is upside down. Everyone has to be thinking of running down that pit lane now, just to get a little bit more fuel to run to the end of the race if you are running on fumes. But I think that pit stop that Mr. R. Muhammad Alif and a bunch of other drivers is now turned south.
Well, I think I'm sure it turned south. If they go to stay on the lead lap of this race, as we see the penalty come through, what we saw in the replay was confirmed by race control. Willoughby's and Paz's contact coming down to netcode there. But looking at the timing tower, it would appear that Muhammad Alif is running in the right position. The pace truck led a bunch of cars that were lapped down to get their laps back and cycle to the back of this lead lap pack. So Alif's back to the lead lap. Wyatt Burton's still in the lead lap. Lucas Moody and Cale Davidson. Let's see, a number of the Ball State cars back into this pack on the lead lap. So if they can get themselves together, watch out for that wall of ball. They may be in the mid pack, but I'm sure they'll be chasing here to get back here as we approach 26 laps to go. This pace car will pull off this time by. Sorry, pace
Ricky
truck.
Paz able to keep the lead, and that is Keegan Kallick just behind him. Grant Schiller in the third spot. Those cars immediately behind Kallick are laps down. That's Onofre, Gosler, I believe Adam Willoughby. And so it's going to be a very interesting one with lap cars here. Green flag in the air. Paz and Kallick look to pull away with just 26 to go.
I think there's a little bit of a checkup on the restart for a little bit further back with Muhammad Alif, but Ricky Paz will resume his lead of the race. The question is, will he be able to hold on to it? As we approach 25 laps to go. Keegan Kallick, Grant Schiller, Keegan Kallick smithing all over that back diffuser. He'll go right rocketing to the outside. Will he be able to do something 3 and 4? I don't know, but that 29 is saying, let's go for it.
Yeah, I think now is your opportunity. If you want to make the move, you're going to have to do it before this pack gets built back up. The car behind him is Aaron Gosler. He's looking to maybe get his lap back, but he is not looking for position. So right now, you have that chance to make a move for the win. We've seen the Bonnet be so dominant. If Kallick can find a way to get around Paz and hold that white line, he may be able to hold it all the way to the win. He's going to try the middle lane once again here, down in 3 and 4, and he's got a teammate in Grant Schiller that's looking for a way to try to help him out.
Yeah, Grant Schiller stuck in some lap traffic right now. He'll look to possibly 2 wide. Now he's right behind that 29. So those St. Clair cars, we told them before, they are linked up here. They're trying to take the action to this 19 car for the race lead.
Kovic there is a lap down. Cale Davidson right now is he is on the lead lap as well. So keep an eye on that 2 car. If he and Schiller can work through some lap traffic and get up to those top 2, it's going to become a 4-car battle for the lead. But it looks like Aaron Gosler is still breaking up the party. That is absolutely his right to do it. We see it all the time here in CIL IndyCar racing. At the line, Ricky Paz led by just 100th of a second, 23 laps to go.
Yeah, but talk about lap cars. Adam Willoughby charging to the outside. This may not be a very simple lead now. Looks to be a lead. That's Muhammad Alif now challenging. We have lap cars racing, lead lap cars, and this is what we think about IndyCar racing. You don't see much in NASCAR and other ovals, but this is now a bunch of different races going on at once. It is chaos once again here, coming through 3 and 4.
A little bit of a 4-wide moment there. Yeah. Couple of Ball State cars on the outside. Muhammad Alif had a huge run, but unfortunately the run sort of dissipated and he slipped all the way to the back now, tucking in behind his teammate Moody. Moody, another lead lap car. So is Jake Cummings, who's worked his way up into the top 5 for the moment. Davidson looking for a way around the lap car of Willoughby. Willoughby, I think, is just trying to get out of the way. He knows he's already burned through his fast repair, so he does not want to get himself caught up in another wreck. A little bit of checkup there in the middle groove there. Willoughby, a little bit of side draft. Here he goes. He's trying to get his lap back. If a caution comes out when he's in front of the 19, he cycles back around to the lead lap and has a chance for this one. So there's plenty to fight for these lap down cars.
Honestly, I'm thinking about it too. It gets kind of confusing now. So we're coming up to 20 to go this next time by. But with the way the IndyCar rules work, we will see these lap down cars get cycled out if we do have another caution. So one thing to think about here is maybe the track doesn't really matter, but if you can get around lap trap and get an advantage, that could mean something once we get these lap cars potentially out of the way. If we do see yellow 3 wide now with Ricky Paz, Leaf will try to make it 3 wide, but they are 3 wide from that second row back.
And not much doing it on the outside lane. Still Ricky Paz, Keegan Kallick there together. Grant Schiller, a lead lap car on the high side to his inside. Gosler a lap down, although Gosler is still in the 11th position, and he's fighting here too, because if that caution does come out, he would get the free pass. So Aaron Gosler trying to keep himself in position. He's got a little bit of distance on
I think Lucas Moody from behind.
That is Lucas Moody. Yes, it is. Nearly contact with Willoughby. Moody gets way out of the groove. His teammate kind of leaves him out to dry. His two teammates do. Alif and Davidson say goodbye to you, Mr. Moody. And that is going to drop the 13 car back to the rear of this field. Jake Cummings there on the bottom in the 4th spot. He is a lead lap car, so he's looking for a way to get around Gosler. But unfortunately, he had a moment there where he was looking at the gearbox. So Willoughby had to recollect it. Willoughby very squiggly on the outside lane with 18 laps to go.
Getting dicey out there. We see Cummings at the inside of Willoughby. Those two are no strangers to each other. Those two came together when fighting for the lead of the race at Vegas 2 weeks ago. So maybe some tension between those two drivers, even though they're really not running the same race right now. As Keegan Kallick still trying to shoot his way around the outside with a number of cars all, again, a bunch of different races happening all at once. 18 to go, 17 to go this time by. I don't know. Or will we stay green? Will we not? I don't know. But if the Cup race a couple weeks ago taught us anything, expect the unexpected as we come to the end of this race here, guys. This is going to get good and really packed 3 wide from, looks to be 2 or 3 rows back.
Brennan Lyman.
Oh, I need some contact.
Yeah, huge wreck.
Wide, and they are wrecking.
Grant Schiller caught in that. He's turning down towards the turn 2 wall. Brennan Lyman involved as well. There's a car literally doing, I think, a Rocket League wall ride coming off it too. Looks to be a Clemson alumni car. I'm sure it's Willoughby. Adam Willoughby confirmed from our production team. But yeah, let's right on board with the basketball netcode contact. Brennan Lyman off the wall and
went right through.
Adam Willoughby going to get in the middle. Looks like Uberkovic. Sorry, that's Schiller kind of darts to the bottom. And I mean, Wesley, you said it. He spears through Brennan Lyman. I mean, pierces that car and comes out the other side.
Absolutely. It looks like he kind of got a little close, tapped a little bit of his bumper. Both cars at fault there. That got a little bit upset and ended up just causing a huge wreck, bringing in about 4 or 5 different cars, with one literally on its wheels sideways, the wrong way. I don't believe this track is that banked compared to Daytona, but that 18 degrees of bank will bring your car a little bit all over track, as it just did, but I think that's going to be a huge day ender there for a few cars if they have not used their faster.
I also saw Lucas Moody caught up in that one. The 13, a lot of net code with Grant Schiller. So a few incidents with the 5 car there. May have been something wrong with his internet that resulted in that crash, taking out 4 cars. So not any fault of Grant Schiller, but that it's just the reality of the situation. This is sim racing. This is essentially our equivalent of a mechanical issue. In this case, you know, you can think about it like maybe busting a fuel line, as he never made contact with Lucas Moody. But unfortunately, iRacing had different ideas. Thought they did. This is giving shades of Casey Kane at Bristol. It's a little bit of an obscure NASCAR moment, but it had looked exactly like this, and not a good look at all.
yeah, but I will say that we're talking about Casey Kane. We are on a Thursday night here, Cade. You know what tomorrow is? I think I'm going to hear
Casey
a ring.
Kane Friday.
Casey Kane Friday. Give me rolling.
Yes,
I Willoughby
yes,
wasn't rolling.
sir.
He was ready, but I guess we're getting the preview. Getting close to
We
midnight
already
here
had
in the
the
East
roll
Coast. I think the
earlier
drivers might
with,
be thinking of it early.
Riley Perkins. Hey, that reminds me of a joke that I saw in our chat here. Do you know how a pizza crossed the road?
I'm not sure I've heard it. I've never heard that joke before. Please.
You're an Italian, so you should know this.
I don't know this one. I've never heard of pizza cross the road unless I'm picking it up from my local pizza joint. Shadow Oral Pizza. You're the goats. Anyway, sponsor. I don't know.
Well, the punchline of the joke is that the pizza imitated Riley Birkins, and it rolled.
Did it really?
This joke was brought to you by Totino's. Yes, it was.
Was that something?
We're not sponsored by Totino.
Listen, I gotta say, Kate, as an Italian, can we not talk about Totino's, please? Because if anyone thinks that's pizza, then I don't know. We may have to spend some time in the post interview talking
It's
about
not
pizza.
pizza. It's actual Italian food.
What's so bad about Totino's? It's a great pizza.
Oh my gosh. I may have to step aside from the booth. I know I've been
I mean,
yapping.
it's literally Totino's. I mean, you can say it in the.
Mamma mia, Kate. That's not what we call a pizza.
In
Mamma
my
mia,
head
Marcello.
right
Come on
now.
now. No,
Come on.
All right, now you're making me hungry.
Oh,
It's Mama,
Mama,
I
give
totally
me
get
a
it.
The
break.
co-commentators kind of sit here and bicker. We're going to get back on some of this racing. Going to see our lining.
We're fine. It's fine. But I digress.
Going to keep him with that Ricky Paz in number 1, Keegan Calick in second, with Davidson in third.
Yeah.
I do want to mention there's a moment for some history here. Okay, Ricky Paz won his first ever CIL race 2 weeks ago at Vegas. Now, if he wins today, it would be the first time that a driver has won 2 consecutive oval races
Oh, wow.
in the Formula College World Championship. Since we switched to the INDYCAR back in season 11, it has never happened. An oval race winner has never won 2 consecutive oval races. And so Ricky Paz would have the opportunity to do it here and potentially retake the points lead.
That would be something, yeah. We kept losing at Spa with the Armaham Leaf's dominant performance. Ricky Paz has got to be thinking about, you know what, I'm about to lead this race. I've done this before, and if I can hold to the bottom of the racetrack like we've seen so many times before, get a good restart, you might have a chance to hold on to win number 2 and go back-to-back. We've seen other drivers do potentially go back-to-back before. Wyatt Burton's been the name that's been almost done it before. We've seen Clint Holtzman race really well, Ryan Whitlock as well. But Ricky Paz has a chance to make some history here, and he is going to absolutely have a chance here with, I believe, if I get the lap count on this, 14 laps to go, it'll be 13 when we come across the stripe to restart this thing, potentially for the final time.
So we are going to re-rack it, I believe, with no lap cars in the way. So everybody in the fight is on the lead lap. It'll be Ricky Paz leading us to the green, Keegan Calick, Cale Davidson, Jake Cummings, Muhammad Alif in the 5th spot. Nick Stockner has worked his way back up to 6th. And the remainder of your lead lap is Wyatt Burton, Lucas Moody, and Aaron Gosler, who got the free pass on that last restart. It'll be 13 to go in the Irish Hills. Ricky Paz trying for win number 2 of the season. Can he get it done? Green flag back in the air.
Yeah, good jump from the 19, but I don't think it's really going to matter because Keegan Calick, Cale Davidson, Jake Cummings, they are going to be rolling it through 1 and 2 with quite a bit of speed. And if the early restarts are already 3 wide, I think a little bit further back, I don't know if it's with the lead lap car or not, but this is going to be aggressive. This is coming to potentially the last restart of the race. Who is going to make the move, when and where? I don't know, but it's going to get good. It's going to get good quick. He's doing a good job on that bottom. Here comes 3 wide.
Jake
Cummings is clear of Keegan Calick.
Can he get clear to the bottom?
He
No,
does.
He's going to clear Calick. Can he get to the bottom? Yes, he can. Jake Cummings.
Paz.
Jake Cummings might have some redemption in Las Vegas. Jake Cummings, the 95 Converse, finally back to the lead here from Michigan, but he's got tons of pressure out behind.
Paz pulls the switch and moves to the outside. Now Paz has Calick behind him. Davidson looking to make it 3 wide for that spot. Alif moving in.
Oh, touching. I think contact at the front.
Contact and Ricky Paz.
Oh, we're racing, boys and girls. Hang on to it. Hang on to it. Oh, it might be 4 wide. Wyatt Burton, 4 wide out from the second row back.
To the outside.
Take your bets, throw them away. It is going down right now.
Taking a page out of the book of Aiken Lamar from last season, Aaron Gosler trying to get it done.
3 wide. Look at the
there, that's
Netco
Calick.
gods. Please let it clean. Lucas Moody back into some action as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is what we're waiting 140 laps to go through. This is getting tight and tense right as we come to the end of this race.
That was not Aaron Gosler on the outside. That was none other than Wyatt Burton, and I should have known with a moom so exciting. He's going to try it again. Once again, the driver from Trine 4 wide on the entrance of 1 while the leaders run just inches apart. Paz trying to hold Cummings as close to the bottom as he can with a couple of other cars there in row number 2 looking for an opportunity to make the pass. If you let the laps run out, you're going to run out of chances, so it's go time right now for Alif, Davidson, Calick, Moody. Everybody needs to get track position with less than 10 laps to go.
This is tight. Yeah, we see there a little bit of looseness down the apron. You might want to come up with that white line because there's a bunch of speed. Ricky Pass will probably, I think, just clear the 95. Can he get there? I don't think so, because here comes that bottom line down into the 95. We'll get back to him 3 wide, but maybe almost 4 wide, a little bit further back. But Jake Cummings, I think, barely can hold on to that race lead, but it is anything but secure with 9 to go, 8 to go this next time by. Oh, wait, look at the back. Back out the back. Oh, that's hitting some cars. We've lost some contenders.
Cale Davidson involved, Stockner involved. The start of this wreck happened right in the middle with Keegan Calla getting into Cale Davidson, and calamity unfolded from there.
Has a car on its roof. Shout out to the aero screen for keeping the driver inside that car safe and sound. Bouncing up and down, almost like a voter who playing NBA 2K. That's something else. I'll take a look for the replay, and I don't think that was netcode. That was down. That was hold Ben speak. Damn to happen.
Right along with Nick Stockner. Hang on a minute. I think he made it through.
Let me start with netcode actually. Woo! That's quick.
Costa that went for a ride, running along now with Nick Stockner. He's going to get through this wreck.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! Lord have mercy!
My heart is pounding from here.
Heart pounding? How about Nick Stockner right there? I think he just might have, forget 9 lives for a cat. He might have just gotten 12,000 from that one. Thank his lucky stars, Nick Stockner, with what might be the record points of this season and one of the best I've ever seen. Holy Toledo, that's something else. Oh my goodness.
It is a page taken straight out of the Cars movie.
Yeah.
That's save.
Too bad it's number 95.
I bet if he reached his hand out of that screen, he could probably give him a high five as he flipped over.
I don't know if that'd be safe with the aero screen. There may be some.
Absolutely not.
If that would happen. Would not advise. Please don't try that at home, kids. But if you somehow have a Dallara 18 at home, would not advise that potentially doing that.
I will say, if you have a Dallara IR18 at home, let me come over. I would love to drive it.
I don't know. I might have to race you. It depends where we're in the country. If they're East Coast, I got a car. It may not be fast, but it's great on fuel mileage. So if it's a fuel mileage race to get to this car, we might be able to make it there. We'll have to see there.
I just have to put you out on track with your little fuel saver there, because these cars are apparently amazing at fuel saving.
Yeah, well, I mean, with all these cautions, it aids the drivers, because the pace truck really does all that work for you. But think about the end of this race and this restarts. We're going to restart with what? 3 laps to go, potentially? It's going to be a short sprint here.
We were kind of talking about maybe beating time. That was going to be in effect with our early pits, or not early pits, I'm sorry. The early yellow flags coming out with all those wrecks coming. You're always talking about how WIV is going to be a race for time, but it turns out we're going to be making it by the skin of our teeth.
So yeah, do we have a clock on where the session is at? I actually don't have it. I don't know if, Wesley, do you have an exact number on what that is? Because I can't see it from what I can access.
I do. We're sitting about 11 and a half minutes to go. With 7 to go under pace, we're going to be looking at about 3 to 4 under green.
Yeah, that's tight. But I think also one thing to consider too, I think we'll make it on time. Because also with the fact, I believe, and Kate, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't think we've had this situation happen, at least in my time running. If we get a caution here at the end of the race, we do not have green white checker. There will be INDYCAR standard. We will end the race. If we get a yellow here, we finish the race under yellow under regular full distance. That's how we will finish this race.
That is correct. We will not do any extra laps, which means there are 6 laps to go no matter what. I would imagine that if a caution comes out between now and the end of the race, we're going to restart with 5 to go. So unless the caution is immediate, it will probably end the race, which is all the more reason for these drivers to treat the next couple of laps like the last one, because if that yellow comes out, the field is frozen, and whoever is in front is going to win the race. Keegan Calick, heavy damage in an EOL for his role in causing that wreck. So we are going to re-rack the field. I would hope that the pace truck is going to pull off this time to get us to go green with 5 laps to go. Jake Cummings, Ricky Paz, Muhammad Alif, your top 3. And honestly, I think Alif might be in the best seat here as the field comes back together after about a lap following the restart. I think that 12 car is going to be in the best position to get the best run and work his way towards the front of the field. So we'll see if he can take advantage of that. It's going to be just 5 laps to go. Jake Cummings, Ricky Paz, Muhammad Alif, Lucas Moody is now back up into the 4th position. Wyatt Burton rounds out the top 5. Jake Cummings, I think, trying to get his first win in the INDYCAR era. It's been quite some time since Converse University has gone to victory lane in the CIL. He's looking to get it done again today. The green flag back in the air. 5 laps to go at Michigan, and a great restart from Ricky Paz. He beats Jake.
I think that's a front wing off Ricky Paz. It may be a little bit of aero damage for the 19 car. Oh, I know that our pocket's been showing. Oh my god! I think iRacing has been curious to hand the wing back, but oh my goodness, that was quite a way to restart for the 19 car as he challenges Jake Cummings, side bang and contact. That's a record.
Hey, Ricky's wrecking.
The caution is out. We may get an opportunity to race one more lap, but Lucas Moody, I believe, got a little bit of damage from the wreck. We'll see if he can limp it around. Here it is again. I just don't think there was enough room there for 2 cars. You cannot go below the white line. It is essentially an out of bounds, and Ricky Paz, with an opportunity to win, finds himself in the outside wall. He definitely is going to blame Jake. I think Jake is going to blame Ricky, and this is going to be one that the stewards have to deal with. The 95 comes just a little bit off the white line, but Ricky certainly doesn't give him any room to breathe. They had to realize in that exact moment that these were open wheel cars, and they just didn't. We may restart with 1 lap to go here.
That's going to be tight here. But also, I was asking you who was going to lead, because if for some reason that we don't restart, it's whoever was leading at the time of caution in that 95, of course, with Ricky now able to get back around with the damage. Means that if we somehow were to get restarted, that 95 would be walking away with a checkered flag, with Jake Cummings leading from Muhammad Alif, Lucas Moody, Wyatt Byrne, and Nick Stockner. Which, if I do add something here to the end of this race, and we link back to our photo finish last year for that 4 wide, almost 4 wide finish at the line here from Michigan. Let me see, I was going to I almost forgot my thought. But Muhammad Alif and Wyatt Byrne were right in the thicket of these things. It is a big question as to whether or not one of those cars might see themselves to victory lane and get redemption from their defeats this last time we ran it back in the spring. So something to keep in mind here as we come to the end of this race, if we restart, of course.
Yeah, we've talked a long time about how Muhammad Alif has not been able to get something done on an oval in an IndyCar. Today, I think, is his best chance ever to turn that around. Michigan has been his best oval on the FC schedule, and we know that if we do go racing, he's going to get a big run on Jake Cummings. He'll have one opportunity to jump to the outside and try to complete the pass. And if he doesn't take advantage of that opportunity, I think the win goes to Cummings. If they make contact, Moody is in the catbird seat to get his first ever CIL Formula College win. And on top of that, you've got Wyatt Burton there looking to get a good finish. Nick Stockner inside the top 5. So plenty of good stories to come out of this one. We will see. But thank you for joining us tonight on the Collegiate iRacing League, bringing you live coverage of the Driven by Excellence 250, presented by the University of Northwestern Ohio. They're a pioneer in the high-performance motorsports education. They've designed and implemented the first performance motorsport program in the world, with over 3,000 students from 48 states, 40 countries, and 81 countries total represented in the alumni of the University of Northwestern Ohio. UNOH employs graduates in all levels of professional motorsports, from the Cup, Xfinity, Truck Series, and NASCAR to Monster Jam, Formula Drift, ARCA, NHRA, INDYCAR, World of Outlaws, and beyond. Find all about it at the University of Northwestern Ohio.edu. That's unoh.edu. If you want to support a sponsor of the CIL, the Pace Truck is going to cross the line here with 2 laps to go, and I believe the lights are going to go off, which means we will have a 1-lap shootout.
Oh boy,
like
here we go. That's going to be something. 1-lap shootout.
All.
Yeah, that's going to be something there, Cade. I mean, if you're Jake Cummings, I'm glad you have the lead, but I'm sorry. You got 2 ball state cars right behind you. I would be a little concerned, not from the fact maybe just their Ball State cars, but they're going to have basically a free run at you into turn 2, if not into 3 and 4 to decide this thing. Which, if we've watched any of the last Indy 500s, we saw Marcus Ericsson lose his chance with Joseph Newgarden's first win at the 500 a couple of years back, and all of it was because you were leading the race on a super speedway at the end of a race because of a one-lap shootout, and whether the circumstances were agreeable by everybody, they certainly weren't. If we could say the same about this race, considering that maybe a little bit of just be a bit more careful with the action come off at 3 and 4 could prevent that caution. But regardless, this is the opportunity you're given. It's 2 miles, and for everyone sitting in the back here, buckle up, buckle in. I think the real race is going to start right here and now. For Jake Cummings, Armor Muhammad Leaf, Lucas Moody, and Wyatt Burton, who lost this race last season by 0.7 of a second. So we'll see who gets the jump and who sees himself the victory lane here with just 1 lap to go. Cade, my friend, you've done a great job in these restarts. I will let you have the honors to take us home here, boss. I'm going to sit back and probably cry at somebody. This is going to be nuts.
Well, we'll see how it goes. When we take the white flag here, it'll be 1 lap to go, presented by the Napa Longland Corporation. For all your car, truck, SUV, and heavy-duty needs, visit Napa and get the Napa know-how. It's Cummings, it's Leaf, it's Moody, Burton, Stockner, and Aaron Gosler. The only cars remaining on the lead lap after a long day here in the Irish Hills. 1 lap to decide it. It's Jake Cummings from Converse and a great run from the Ball State cars. Already looking to the outside. Muhammad Alif going to try to hold Cummings as close as he can on corner exit. But Moody wants a piece of the own. He wants a piece of it for himself. Looks to the outside. Nothing there. Now here comes the run from Wyatt Burton. Watch that 26 car. May have an opportunity to go 4
Big shot. Here comes 4 wide. We talked about it. Here it goes.
Jake
Oh, he's going to have it in it, though. It's going to be a Leaf and Cummings on the 4 unless Moody gets something. They wreck behind.
Burton in the outside.
Oh, here we come to the line. This might be something. Moody, I got it. Lucas Moody.
Moody missile fires 1 on the final lap and gets it done in Michigan. Top of 3 wide by 0.4 of a second. It's Lucas Moody winning his first ever Formula College World Championship race. He led 1 lap, but it was the only lap that mattered, the last one. Lucas Moody is going to victory lane.
He's gonna burn it down. We need to replay that, please, production. Yeah, Jake Cummings just on the bottom, and Lucas Moody with might be the generational run of his CIL career. And oh my God, here they come off of 4, and just that little bit of slipstream, a little bit of side driving off your teammate, and that is 0.4 of a second. Denies a Leaf the chance to get his first career win, but I'm sure Lucas Moody is absolutely ecstatic right now to be celebrating the potential of celebrating this win. I mean, look at this, folks. We've seen closest finishes before here in the CIL ovals, and look at that. Can I get a photo of that, please, and hang it on the wall? That is an all-time finish here for Michigan. Oh my goodness. Look at that, top of 3 wide. I'm sure Ricky Bobby and anyone else would be proud with going to the top side. That is, look at that. Wesley, Wesley, please, I can't be the only one saying that was a phenomenal finish. That was something else, dude. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. That finish has got me speechless. I mean, you got 2 Ball State cars running up top. You have 1 Converse on the bottom that was trying to hope for that win. But once he saw those Ball State cars, it was the kind of concern coming in, thinking, uh-oh, I might be in trouble here. But if I hold this bottom, it's worked all night. Hopefully we can make it work. But, man, those twin Ball States, that was one heck of a finish. 0.4 of a second meant all the difference. 1 lap is all it took to deny a Leaf first win at an oval. And let's kind of call back here. A Leaf won the championship, finishing 3rd here last season. So it was going to be a huge thing if he would have pulled off a win back to not only win his championship last season, but also pull a win tonight. But Lucas Moody had some different plans. There's definitely some victories. There's definitely some anger. There's be some conversations held in that esports room tonight.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back here at Michigan. Welcome back to live coverage of the Driven by Excellence 250 presented by University of Northwestern Ohio. This is our post-race show. We're going to be doing some interviews, starting it off with our alumni winner from the day, brought it home 6th, but was the best college graduate in the field. Wesley Shaw is standing by with Nick Stockner.
Hey, Nick, you got a copy?
I do.
Hey, Nick, so that was a great race you ran today. Going into that last few laps, I know not everything went according to plan, but what were your thoughts going into those last few laps?
Well, the restart with 5 to go, I was really hoping and praying that we didn't have an immediate caution, mainly because we got very fortunate with the cautions when they happened, and we had full fuel with map 1. I know the cars around me were not running map 1, they were running map 2 or 3, so I knew we had a little bit of extra engine power. We could have made a move. But unfortunately, I've watched the replay. My opinion is Jake wrecked Ricky, so we end up with where we're at, and then we have a 1-lap shootout. And I thought I saw a run in there between Lucas and Wyatt, and it didn't happen. And I want to apologize to Wyatt publicly. That is my fault. But we move on from that, and just happy to have led some laps. Happy to have gone from last to 6th, and we'll keep moving on.
Oh, that was a really good race. I know you were leading for a little bit before you kind of ran down the pit road, but you do bring home that alumni win for this race. How do you think that's going to change your momentum going forward in this season?
Oh, Lord. Well, we only do this part-time. We only do the ovals, and Road Atlanta helps with a little bit of momentum for Pocono next week. But, yeah, I don't really know. I think the Orange Wheel Racing, Clemson University, Dallara IR18 was really fast today. I think we can definitely take that car and, tweak a little bit of things and hopefully work less hours on Thursdays and get home in time and actually be able to qualify, and then we'll see where we stand. But, I feel like we had a really strong run tonight, and a really strong run where we didn't get killed by Cade Corbin 30 laps in, so here we go.
Right, and thank you so much for being up here, Nick. Do you have anyone you want to shout out or anyone you want to thank tonight?
Of course, I want to thank my fellow esteemed panel member, Cade Corbin. We have a lot of fun. I want to thank my mom, Baba, Nina, Mariah for watching always. Shout out to Orange Wheel Racing, really good friends of mine. They still believe in me, even though we're going on 2 calendar years since I've actually won a league race. They still believe in me and believe that I can do it. And then, the Familiar Strange, Opseat, Zynic Capital, Milliken, Dyken, Loza Harrisonburg, Handy Dan's Landscaping, all the people that help these cars go really fast.
All right. Thank you, Nick. You have a good night, and congrats on your win.
Thank you.
I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Cade Corbin.
Yes, and we're now getting an opportunity to talk to our race winner, Lucas Moody. Welcome to Victory Lane. I want to be the first one to say congratulations. And there he is. Now Lucas Moody's in the booth. There he is. Welcome up here. Lucas Moody, congrats on the win. First ever win in the Formula College World Championship. How does it feel?
It's been so long. The last time I won, it probably wasn't even on record. It's been so long since I won last. It was the Super Formulas around Brazil. I think it's been over a year and a half now since I won last. So finally, I've been so close so many times, and whether it be in the INDYCAR, whether it be in the Cup car, I've been so close so many times to another win. So I'm finally so happy. I've got my first ever win on an oval. First win in the INDYCAR. And first win in way too long of a time. It's the emotions where I was screaming over Discord. My teammates got an earful of Moody Missile yelling tonight, I'll tell you that.
Well, congratulations once again. I do want to ask you, all right, you're sitting third, you're coming out of turn 2, there's half a lap to go. Do you think you have the chance, or are you thinking about just tucking behind somebody and trying to get second?
Yeah, there's two things in my mind. One is the first thing on my mind is I want to win the race, right? Second thing on my mind is if I can't win the race, I want to make sure it's my teammate. So coming into 3, I was like, okay, I don't have the run, whatever. I'm gonna tuck behind a Leaf. If I can get a Leaf the win, like I'll be happy. That'll be nice. A Leaf wins, I get third. Like I would take that. And I sit behind him. I'm trying to aero draft. I'm trying to side draft off Jake, and he just doesn't. I think he told me after he had a little bit of damage. He didn't have the speed, and I just see freaking Willoughby and Burton flying on my outside. And I'm like, I have to do something now, or I'm gonna lose the podium. So I just go high, tuck really close to a Leaf, side draft the absolute living crap out of him, hold, and then there was a moment where I was like, wait, I'm gaining on them, and I'm like, there's no way, right? I crossed the line, and my eyes instantly go to the standing sheet. Because it updates as soon as you cross the line, and I saw the one by my name, and I'm like, there's no way that this happened. Because I don't know, I guess I saw my opportunity and I took it, and that's about all I can say.
So let me ask you this: did you see the margin of victory? Do you know how much you won by?
Was it point? It was something small. You have to tell me.
0.004.
Jesus.
4,000ths of a second. Yes, sir. I'm glad that you
That's
painted
crazy.
the front nose of that car extra thick, because that's what won the race for you. But once again, congratulations. I wish you luck next week at Pocono. Hope to get to talk to you again. Before we get you out of here, anybody you got to shout out? Anybody you got to thank? I know there's got to be some people.
Yeah, the first person that has to be a Leaf. I mean, we qualified 1-2. You saw us playing the game, he held inside, I held outside. You can't get around, so we did that until the first cycle. Essentially, once we let everyone crash behind, with all the cautions, and then we started running green is when we were able to start actually that Hornet's Nest is when we kind of got mixed into that. But for all those first 50 laps of just people crashing, we were able to hold 1-2 by just holding us at outside. So yeah, Leaf is a big shout out, and of course I was able to side draft and draft off him for the win too. So. Of course, there's that as well. All my other teammates that raced me tonight, that's Kale, that's Jake, that's Dylan, that's Nick. A lot of unfortunate crashes took some of them out, but, it happens. Got to thank all of my teammates on the oval side, thank our sports like Grayson, have to thank Danny BK, who run the Ballsy Esports program, thank all my Overwatch teammates, and last but most certainly not least, you have to thank my parents, my mom, my dad, my brother, Andrew. This one definitely goes out to my mom. She's been supporting me for a long time. Absolutely love her, absolutely love my dad and my brother as well. So it goes out to my family above all. But yeah, I'm just so elated right now.
All right, well, everybody, that's been Lucas Moody, your Formula College Michigan winner. Congratulations once again. And I'm going to hand it off to Ben, who's going to interview the guy that he thanked, but he had to beat to get the win. Our Muhammad Alif loses it by a hair. He's with Ben.
Yeah, awesome. Robert Lee, thanks for taking the time to join us up in the booth. You got a coffee, boss?
Yep.
Awesome, great to have you here. But to talk about the end of that race, we were talking about just with Lucas Moody, 0.004. You've covered a lot in the Collegiate iRacing League in terms of the road courses, but the ovals was 0.004 away from finally getting you the first Formula College oval win. Talk us through the emotions of the final lap and what you're feeling right now as to how this all has played out here at the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, that lap 121 incident between Jake and Ricky, I think gave me front wing damage, so it's a little slow down the straight, but at the end of the day, I think Lucas would have still. I don't know, but I mean, I'm glad though it worked out the way it did and gave Lucas his, I think, first win in 2 years. So yeah, very very happy for him. He's been working really hard and pushing himself. So really really happy to see that from my end at Ball State. But yeah, the whole race was super fun. With just a lot of chess going on, and yeah, just glad we got the points, because I usually get taken out in these oval races pretty easily. So yeah, still P2 is very good points, and got the pole, and yeah, laps led. So yeah, very good points.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was definitely great to see you on the pole again. Something you've done multiple times before on these ovals. Do a really good job at putting yourself at the front of the race. But we saw you a bunch of different points going back and forth. Lead the front of the race, challenge at the front, be in the mid pack, run at the back, be in different places. Can you, for the viewers at home, to try to articulate? We can only do so much in the broadcast booth, right?
Yep.
So try to walk us through how much of that is in your mindset. How much are you trying to push? How much are you trying to save? How much are you trying to just, like you said, to stay alive in these races? Because again, they're just so tumultuous out here in these FC Oval races. Just walk us through a bit of thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, mindset-wise, you have to be on the offense, I think, in these oval races, because if you become a little cautious, you get overtaken by 5 cars straight away. So yeah, my mindset was that, just going straight at it, kind of trying to go for the win, and trying to measure myself. The second thing was I had to learn what other drivers were doing, because some drivers wouldn't keep their line, so they would be understeering in the middle of the corner, or they'd be understeering at the exit of the corner. So I had to like take note of that a lot of times, because that could easily ruin my race. And yeah, at the end it was just chess game between all 3 of us. Yeah, I think Jake played it really well at the restart. He lifted, I lifted even more just to get a slingshot. And then yeah, Lucas just taking the win from both of us. So it's still a ball state 1-2. I'm pretty sure we led more than 20 laps, so that probably gives us more than 1,000 laps led in the INDYCAR era. I'm pretty sure that's by far the most dominant performance from a school so far. So very happy, very, very, very happy, and very proud of that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, great to see the ball state 1-2. I'm sure everyone back in Monty is going to be really excited with the win. But yeah, looking forward to next week. And of course, Pocono's going to come up. I'm sure you'll be very excited to come out to that, knowing, say, hey, if I was only 4 downs away from winning a race, I'm sure at some point it's going to give me the luck. But we'll look forward to seeing you race again next week. But before we let you go, a chance to thank anybody you want to thank before heading off for the night.
Yeah, there's never a doubt with oval. I mean, I've won before, I'm pretty sure, on ovals, NASCAR at least. So yeah, just can't wait to walk back, and the whole street, just lined out of people. No, I'm just kidding. But
Maybe for next spring for the 500, maybe so. We'll
yeah, it's like the whole street's gonna be lined up with people just cheering. I'm just kidding. But big shout out to Lucas for his first win in the INDYCAR, I believe. First win in 2 years, so big shout out to him. I think Kale should have been here with us had he not gotten. I think it was a pit stop, but yeah. And the other drivers as well, on the road side of things, well, the oval side of things, our esports directors, Dan Marino and Brendan, for all their support, especially with the facility that we have, state of the art facility, and all the support that they give to our sports psychologists. Also, big shout out to him, and my parents back home. So.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it again. Once again, the time. Everybody, Armor Leaf finishing second. This one's so close, but just right there in the action. Thinking again, Leaf, thanks so much for your time, and we'll hope to see you get back in again next week.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, and last up, we're going to take a look at the last rung on the podium. Jake Cummings, little bit of, he was really close there at the end, led a couple of laps late, but Wesley's going to give him a chance to give us his thoughts on how that race ended.
Absolutely. Hey, Jake, you in here?
Yeah, buddy, I'm here. Second time, actually.
For the second time. Well, going back into this race, what was that last lap thought? You were leading on bottom, you see a Leaf, and you see all state cars coming up at you. What was the thoughts going on that last?
My thought in turn 3 and 4 was that a Leaf and Lucas didn't look very fast, and I thought they were going to tuck in behind me and teamwork to get past me on the front stretch with the run. So I actually went to 60% throttle for about a half second, and I lost about 4 miles an hour doing that. So I don't know if that made the difference, but it might have. So apologies. It definitely would have been closer at least. So as close as it was anyways. So it is what it is. It's always going to be hard when you're defending against 2 people who are obviously in a call together, working together. So, or at least I assume. So it was going to be tough. I thought this was going to be retribution for Las Vegas when some things happened that kept me from winning when I probably should have. And it was fun to do the 3 wide pass on the outside pretty late to get to that position as well. But yeah, last lap, I thought it was going to be pretty much in the bag. It was not. But I did pretty much everything I could except for that one little thing.
Yeah, that was one heck of a last lap. I know all of us up here in the booth were absolutely speechless at coming all the way to the line. I was really rooting for you, man. But I know that pressure was some serious stuff. You know, you have two Ball State guys. But how do you feel about having that third place, though? I know you were looking for a first. I know you didn't exactly go to plan, but you still pulled off a top 3. I know that's got to feel at least some pretty good feelings today.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought I was pretty much out of it because I had to take a leak on that like lap 55 yellow. So I came out last and I was like, okay, I might as well top up. And then there was an incident on the restart and I cleared it, but I was nowhere near the pack. I was running the same lap times, but I was 7 seconds behind them. So, and then I was like, oh, of course we're going green from here. So, but then when the green flag pit stops happened, or at least the ones that did happen, I just kind of closed up pretty much all that gap instantly. So I don't know if everyone is having to be really cautious being in the pack to get to the pits, and I just didn't have to, or what. But I came out right behind a Leaf when I was 7 seconds behind him, so that put me back into it. And then yeah, most of it was just like I don't want to get involved in a wreck, so I'll just hang out at the back of the main pack. But yeah, it was fun in that last bit. It was a bit tedious at first, but you know, these oval races always have pretty crazy finishes. Third is good. Third is good for points. We should be like second in points now, probably. I don't know. Maybe should be in the lead, but that's okay. Things happen, and we'll just keep going forward. I've got another crazy weekend. Got another crazy race next week, so yeah, we'll just see what happens. But it's good. Third is good. Always good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jake. One last thing for you before you go. Is there anyone you want to shout out or thank tonight for what's such an amazing race?
Yeah, I'll thank my wife. She actually she made her own chocolate and also cinnamon apple chips while I was racing, and she came in here and there to give me some samples. So I had those under caution. So those are really good. She did a fantastic job, and say thanks to you guys, of course. I hope it wasn't too bad at first with all the yellows, and y'all had some fun. I hope Ben had fun. I hope Ben had fun. Yep. And I also thank Converse Esports, of course, and also Tech Sport Racing for our partnership with them to get sim racer butts into seats.
All right. Well, that was Mr. Jake Cummings, our third place car in the Formula College series. I'm going to hand it back over to Cade Corbin.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to toss it back to you guys real quick and ask for some closing thoughts on this race. Ben, I'm glad you could join us. First time up here in the booth. I hope it put on a fantastic race that lived up to your expectations. So we'll start with you. What did you see today, and how do you think that's going to relate to what we're going to see next week? Honestly, a very similar racing style at Pocono.
Yeah, I think Formula College on a super speedway. If you haven't got a chance to watch it, this is your first time. This is nothing out of the blue. These races are fast. They're chaotic. They're full of wrecks. They're full of cars doing Beyblade moves out there on the racetrack. It's really some exciting stuff to watch. But I mean, I thought the racing was really good. I think, of course, the early cautions kind of slowed things down. But we saw later in the run with Ricky, with Jake, with the Leaf leading laps later in the run of this race, we saw the things kind of straighten out. We saw a lot of that bottom line kind of stall things out. So I think it's a note for drivers going ahead to Pocono next week, doing it to another big super speedway type of track with the Speedway Aero. You're going to probably think about, outside line's great, but the inside, it kind of is a little bit OP if we do say so ourselves. So I think that's something that drivers learned a lot this week if they haven't already, especially with the lack of banking in 2 and 3 over at Pocono. No turn 4, unfortunately. That'll be different. But I think the racing was really high action. Of course, the finish, we didn't say anything about that. Lucas Moody's going to have a moment to talk about for probably the rest of the season, if not the rest of his sim racing career. And yeah, it was really awesome. And of course, thank you to Kay, thank you all of you guys having me in the booth for this race. And yeah, really awesome stuff.
Absolutely. Wesley, it's your first oval. I know this is a little bit more your bread and butter, a little bit more the stuff that you like, stuff that you know about. Is this the Michigan that we expected coming in, or did it hit you with a couple of surprises?
Honestly, it's been kind of a mix of both. Being that this is kind of my bread and butter. I've been doing oval racing since I was a very small kid, joining the CIL last year for the rookie year for the College Cup Series. I am very used to these oval tracks, but not in these INDYCARs, as it's been kind of apparent tonight. I was expecting some cautions, but I'll be honest, I was not expecting that many. I was expecting maybe 3 to 4, but I was definitely not expecting somewhere north of 7. I think next week we're definitely going to be seeing a lot the same, but a lot of the different. We may see a Leaf all the way up there. I have to go back with my pick again. I'll even shout it out early. I'm going to call a Leaf as my third pick in a row.
Wow, already there, Wesley. You're going bold. We haven't even gotten to the pre-race yet. You're already making predictions there. That's bold.
I am. It wasn't true today. He came home with a second.
You got
though,
really
but it was
close, though. You were
Oh,
really,
he sure
really
did.
close.
Trust me, he sure did. The curse was almost lifted, but yeah, it was
So we're
close.
going to take a look now at our final results. We know those top 3. We've talked about them. There it was Lucas Moody bringing it home for the win, just ahead of teammate Muhammad Alif. Jake Cummings winds up third. Aaron Gosler manages to hang on and avoid some calamity to bring it up in the 4th spot, by far his best career finish in a very short CIL career. And Wyatt Burton rounds out the top 5 as the last car on the lead lap. Nick Stockner made some contact with that 26, dropped him to the 6th position, 1 lap down, along with Cale Davidson, Adrian Tubakovic, Ricky Paz, and Edwin Onofre all found themselves involved in some incidents, but still inside the top 10. Ben?
Yeah, according to the top 10, calamity was what we saw with only 5 cars in the lead lap, and then showed for some other cars. Keegan Kallick, Rent Schiller, not Sean Campbell, but he might be, but his real name is actually Brendan Lyman for Oklahoma Panhandle State. Adam Willoughby, Nick Henley, Logan McKim, Jake Dick down 17th, and then Stell Beasley, Josh Camphor, Dylan Beatty wrapping out the top 20 with only 1 car to go down in the 21st spot, that being Riley Berkins for New England College.
And so we talked a little bit about that Pocono race that is looming in the distance. We got a pretty good schedule coming up. After that, it's going to be Long Beach, another race that has traditionally had a little bit of attrition behind it. And then shortly thereafter, we'll be going over to Braselton, Georgia for the Road Atlanta Grand Prix. So be sure to join us for those races. It'll be on the same YouTube channel, same time. Broadcast starting at about 7:50 Central, which is 8:50 over there on the East Coast. Having a look at that schedule here. Barber's going to be a great race. Milwaukee's going to be a great race. Magello's going to be a great race. But the next one is there on October 2nd. But if you cannot wait until next Thursday to get your fix of the Collegiate iRacing League, on Monday night, the Yum2 College Cup Series will be racing at Talladega. And that race is sure to be fantastic as well. So come on out and support the Collegiate iRacing League. Then that'll be at 7:45 Central, 8:45 on the East Coast. So we hope that you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast of the Driven by Excellence 250 presented by the University of Northwestern Ohio. Thank you everybody for watching and joining us tonight. I've been Cade Corbin, joined by Ben Fiore, Wesley Shaw, and our producer Ryan Whitlock. Have a good night.